Man. Y'all know what time it is. Y'all already know what time it is. Come on in here. We gonna talk. Come on in here. We finna ready to go live. Just waiting for a few more people to get in here, and I'm tweeting it out. Hope y'all doing good today. Y'all know I'm doing good today. I wonder what new news we're gonna talk about today. I wonder why. Is there anything in particular you guys want to talk about today? Just asking. Shall I say it again? We got my man, let's see, who else we got in here? Turn this music down just a tad. Navy vet in the house was good, player. Mario Heat. True SSJ Havoc in the house. Buck that. What's good, my brother? If you want to jump in here, you already know. TKRDS in the house. Shout G. What's good, player? J Doggy. Nassim, DDP 540 in the house, my brother. Mario Heat. What else good? Taco British in the house. What's good, player? He said, just beat Starfield. 10 out of 10. Game of the generation. Oh, man. I smell cap, but it is what it is. Javon in the house. Hey, man, we're going to talk about it. Cold Blood Sensei. What's good, player? What's good? My brother Paul G, as usual. Ryan Landis. Strike Moon in the house. What's good, Strike Moon? What's good, player? King in the house. Ice Queen. What's good, Queen? Hope you're doing good today. On this beautiful Tuesday morning, while we have some breaking news. Some of it's good, some of it's bad, but either way, we're going to talk about it. Wanker76 in the house was good. Downward Incline. South Star. Diablo Dark Matter. What's good, player? I'll drain your soul. What up, player? Cassandra Lane. Come on in here. Come on in here. Take your shoes off. Y'all know what time it is. Man, where should we start? Where should we start? I'm wondering, where should we start? Well, I guess we can start with the latest breaking news. Shout out Star was good. Brown Devil, my brother. Well, I'll tell you this. Melvin was good. Woke up this morning with breakfast in bed. Check my Twitter. Not X, but my Twitter account. And I see all the chaos going on. Apparently, somebody from the FTC done leaked and uploaded a bunch of confidential files, a bunch of internal files. If you was to tune in to the RDX, the Colt Eastwoods, and the post-ups of the world, that's what you will believe right about now. You will believe that Lena Khan herself did a hit job out on Microsoft. But you know what? That's too good to be true. That would sound so simple. A vindictive Lena Khan steals company files and uploads them to government websites. Think about that. Bots had already started running with that shit. They already had a storyline, plot line, an ending, and everything. They already started talking about Fed time for Lena Khan. She's going to prison. I mean, these guys have already put in their minds this whole scenario that's made up. These guys, they're very elaborate. The Xbox community is very elaborate when it comes to making stories up. But then the truth came out. Oops. Oopsies. Whoopsies. Come to find out, the person who leaked that shit was Microsoft themselves. That's equivalent to getting fired on your day off. How the hell do you sabotage yourself? My God. This shows you how incompetent. And I say it again. This shows you again how incompetent Microsoft is. This really makes no sense. This is self-sabotage to the 10th power. So guess what? All of these emails, all of these documents, they were unredacted. So we got to see everything, and we got to see the inside dealings and the workings and the mindset of not only Phil Spencer, Aaron Greenberg, Satya Nadella, and some of the other guys in there, Matt Booty, But we got to see exactly what their feelings really are, what their intentions and goals really are. Low key, Poppy was good, player. So I know a lot of these Xbox fans like to say Phil Spencer is such a nice guy and he's such a gamer. J Gamer UK, what's up, player? Uncombative was good. Phil Spencer is such a nice guy. He's such a well-spoken guy. He's for the common man. He's a gamer. Let me say it again. He's a gamer. That's what I was told. He's a gamer. So apparently, and this happened this was happened a few days ago. There was 35 to 38 terabytes, not gigabytes, but terabytes of data that was mismanaged, mishandled, and leaked. Then someone had the nerve to upload all of this data, all of this stuff to the government website. None of this stuff is redacted, by the way. It's unredacted. That means everybody can see. So during the court case, some things came out, but if you saw the documents itself, it was all blacked out, right? You couldn't see exactly what was going on. Microsoft only showed you what they wanted you to see in those things. Well, thanks to good old Microsoft themselves and their incompetence, the unredacted version leaked. Not even leaked. It was just given out to the public. For free. Spooky stuff. Spooky stuff. But you know what? It don't even matter, because all the fanboys are going to do is blame Lena Khan and the FTC and the CMA UK and everything else. Dudes are already damage controlling this shit. There is none to damage control. The information came from Microsoft themselves. And we're going to talk about the information that came out of that shit. A lot of it is not good. Again, Phil Spencer, he plays this nice guy. Heath the Heathen Stevens, what's good, my brother? Your favorite weeb, what's good, player? Brother, I'm in Texas. Steady Flow in the house. Blah, blah, blah. Soldier, what's good, Soldier? All things PlayStation in the house, what's good? Muck, I see you. Absolutely, Muck. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about everything. Don John Sean, what's good? Naseem in the house. Listen, Phil plays this nice guy. He's such a nice guy. He's for gaming. He's for everybody. Let me tell you about this motherfucker. He would get up in court and he would get up in the public and put on this good guy persona, but behind the scenes, he's a scheming, diabolical villain to the 10th power. And I'm gonna read some of these leaks for y'all, because I want y'all to know what we dealing with here. These guys act like they're good guys, but then behind the scenes, they really trying to kill gaming. I'm gonna show y'all some of the mismanagement of how these people over at Microsoft, how they view things, the lens that the view and the lens that they look through. These guys are really, when I say they got a bunch of money, we know they got a bunch of money, right? They got $2 trillion. These guys were actually trying to buy Nintendo, Valve, WB, and ZeniMax. And then on top of that, the Activision Blizzard, right? They were literally trying to buy the whole industry. When I say literally, they are literally trying to buy the industry. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the consoles. There's a lot of stuff leaked, y'all. A mid-gen refresh, which is not really a mid-gen. They didn't change the specs, but they changed the way it looked. Even their next generation console / hybrid system / cloud streaming box is coming out in 2028. I mean, we got all the information. It's all out there. So when we telling you that Microsoft is really trying to get out of console business, it literally came out. If they don't hit their Game Pass, if they don't hit 100 million Game Pass subscribers by 2027, they are literally getting out of gaming. They're going to sell it. This is from them. This is not from anybody else. This is from them, their own documents. So in this one document, there was a question. Let's talk about Game Pass. How many subscribers does Game Pass have? Phil Spencer says 25 million. He said it's highly confidential. And then another question was posed. And that's the same number that I think was announced when Activision deal was announced. Has it not grown in the last, 8 or 9 months? Phil said, nah, it hasn't grown. So this is a year going on. Game Pass subscriptions hasn't grown a bit. And this has been going on for years. Satya and Phil, they've been missing their bonuses because of this. They have about 21 million consoles out in the wild. 15 of those, no, let me back up. There's 21 million Xbox Series S's and X's combined out in the wild. There is a total of about 25 million Game Pass subscribers. Now check this out. Here's the kicker. Of those 25 million Game Pass subscribers, 15 million of those are PC Game Pass subscribers. Let me repeat myself, because I want to make sure y'all hear me, right? There are 21 million Xbox current gen consoles on the market, 21 of them. There's 25 million Game Pass subscribers. Of those 25 million Game Pass subscribers, 15 million of them are on PC. PC is keeping Xbox afloat. Now you can see why they're saying PC is Game Pass and Game Pass is PC, or PC is Xbox and Xbox is PC. You have 21 million consoles, but only, less than 5 million of those are Game Pass subscribers. Let that sink in. That's true, Darkside. A majority of Game Pass subscribers don't even own an Xbox, or they don't use the Xbox from that standpoint. So now can you see why the majority of Xbox console owners own a Series S? There's 21 million Xboxes in the wild. It's been confirmed through these leaks that 5 million of those are let me back up. 75% of those 21 million Xbox consoles are the Series S. 25% own a Series X. That was the exact wording, and that was the exact chart that leaked out of it. So we got to talk about it. The Xbox Series X is niche. And listen, to be fair, I don't know if because the marketing, when they first in 2020, when they market the consoles, they said the Series X is a 4K 120 machine. The Series S is a 1440p 120 machine. So if you don't have a 4K TV, or if you don't really need that high resolution, just get your Series S for real cheap. You can get it for what, $299, $249. Save you a couple of $100. That's how they market it. That's how they advertise. They said the only thing difference is just the resolution. It's just down a little bit. That's the way they marketed this console. They said you're going to have the same games, the same ray tracing, the same 120, the same. So as a Xbox customer, you're thinking, well, do I really need 4K? Do I really need a Series X? I could save $200 and just give me a Series S. But we came to find out in the end, right? The proof is in the pudding. The developers can't do split screen. There's a lot of features that they can't do. Ray tracing is missing in most of the games. The resolution is way lower than 1440p. It's a lot of stuff that's going on. Shadow the Ghost was good, player. And I know y'all want to get to the big shit, right? And I'm gonna hurry up and speed it up and give it to the big shit, but I wanted to lay the foundation for you. I wanted to let you guys know exactly where Xbox stands as related to consoles, as related to Game Pass. Now, we know Game Pass is more important than consoles now. The problem is there's 15 million Game Pass subscribers that are on PC. So Microsoft could literally close up shop when it comes to the console market and still make money hand over fist on the PC market, because they no longer have to lose $100 to $200 per box for the Xbox consoles. See, I'm trying to paint a picture for you. So when Digital Foundry and Microsoft and other outlets say that, you know, they don't go by sales anymore and consoles really don't matter and they're moving past the console and stuff like that, it'll give you a little bit better picture. Because I know some people are, they'll always have hardware. They're always going to have a console. Yeah, we actually, because of these leaks, we actually get to see the next generation proclaimed console of Xbox. And when we talk about those specs and exactly what it is, we'll see if you change your mind, because Microsoft is definitely getting out of the hardware business. If you see the specs of their new machine, how it utilizes the cloud and mobile chips, the ARM mobile chips, yes, the same chips that's in the iPhone and in the Android tablets and in the Nintendo Switch, yes. That's what's going to be powering your next Xbox. It's a hybrid. They call it a hybrid. And it's going to be powered by the cloud power. And it's going to come out in 2028. Anyway, a lot of people are saying, well, why didn't Sony information get leaked? And why didn't Sony? Because these guys were thinking the FTC leaked this stuff. The FTC can't do that. They're not going to leak anything. Their only job is to protect consumers. That's it. They don't have a dog in the fight. They just want to protect consumers and make sure these big trillion-dollar corporations don't ramrod shady business practices and just buy up everything and then close up shop when they feel like it. Heat the Heathen Stevens. He says a $99 device. We're going to talk about it. If you look at the specs, y'all know what ARM is, right? Y'all know what kind of chips ARM are, right? It's similar chips that's in the iPads, the new Macs, the iPhones, the Android phones, on and on and on. Mobile devices. Why would you use a mobile chip, right? Why would you use mobile chips in a console? That means power efficiency? No, it is not a portable. It's not a portable. What it is it's a combination. You can stream, but you can also play. What you got to think about it. When you look at Xbox games, right? Look at Avowed. That game, it looks like Sea of Thieves. It looks like, Fortnite and everything else. Microsoft just don't make like graphically demanding games that really pushes the power of the hardware. Because if it did, the Series S wouldn't exist. So their future consists of these games that can be ran on mobile chips, right? This is another reason why they bought. They're trying to buy ABK for King. They, you know, they want the apps. So the future of Xbox are in apps. And, you know, some of those big games or multiplats that come that can't use the native hardware, they'll be able to leverage the cloud. So that's why it's a hybrid. Native apps versus cloud streaming / offloading of some of the stuff onto the hardware to help speed it up. So that's their end game, guys. They don't want to lose $100 to $200 on hardware anymore. Matter of fact, the OG Xbox One is outselling the Xbox Series consoles, which is 2 consoles. You know, they want something that you can get in there much quicker, right? That's just kind of what it is. This might not be what people wanted to hear, but according to these leaks, and this stuff is accurate, it's accurate to the T. The FTC responded because a ton of Xbox fanboys were blaming Lena Khan and the FTC. Shout out to Stephen Totilo, who is an analyst, and he put that out there. He says the FTC says, don't blame us for the Microsoft mega leak. The FTC was not responsible for uploading Microsoft's plans for its games and consoles to the court's website. FTC spokesperson Douglas Farrar said. So the FTC already jumped on this and say, hey, this is not us. This is on them. They uploaded that shit to our website. We didn't do it. So they've been trying to reach out to Microsoft and Phil Spencer and Satya for some kind of clarification about exactly what happened and stuff. And these guys aren't, of course, you know, they're in damage control mode. They're probably having a very, very, very bad day. And when I say a bad day, I mean a bad day. Imagine waking up in the morning, seeing all of your email, all your private conversations and email plastered across Twitter, plastered across everywhere. Just think about that. And one of the biggest things, right, is Microsoft had with their ambition, they plan to achieve industry leadership and dominance by the fiscal year 2030. That means by 2029, they plan on dominating, being number 1 in gaming. Well, how are they going to achieve that? Well, let's go. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Well, they're not going to achieve that with Game Pass the way it is, right? They have 15 million PC Game Pass subscribers, 5 million console Game Pass subscribers. So how else were they going to do that, right? They weren't going to get there from that angle. So we have a deadline. Out of this is the deadline. The deadline is Microsoft may exit gaming business if Game Pass subscribers off console don't increase enough by 2027. If they don't reach 100 million Game Pass subscribers on console by 2027, they're getting out of the console market. Let me repeat that. Microsoft may exit the gaming business if Game Pass subscribers off console does not increase enough by 2027. 100 million subscribers is that goal. Well, hell, I just told you guys they only have 25 million Game Pass subscribers across PC and console, and Samsung TVs and tablets, and, you know, mobile and everything else, right? So they need to pick up 75 million motherfuckers who's willing to subscribe to Game Pass. Now, here's the kicker. How are they going to achieve that? Most people think, oh, they're just going to put out some great games and Call of Duty and no. Nope. Paul G. Absolutely. Microsoft got 3 years to hit 100 million Game Pass subscribers, or Xbox is getting out of gaming. This is based on their internal memos. This is not J-Dub's memo. This is Microsoft's own leaked. This is their memo. You may not like it, but you must accept it. But this is the kicker. We finally found out exactly what's going on. Let me read you this. Microsoft's Phil Spencer, his email, they didn't say who he was emailing to, but his conversation. Getting Nintendo would be a great career moment and a good move for both companies. Xbox boss Phil Spencer said in emails from 2020, according to FTC court documents that were leaked. Let that sink in. These guys are still heavily trying to get Nintendo by force. Nintendo doesn't want to sell. But let me tell you something. When you have $2 trillion in your pocket, that makes ears perk up. People can say, oh, they don't want to sell. They don't want to sell. They don't want to sell. Moss, what's good, my brother? Lincoln Clay, what's good? Listen, when I saw this, and we all know the story, right? We all know the story about back in the day with the OG Xbox. Before the OG Xbox came about, Bill Gates and Steve Ballmer and all those guys, they wanted to buy Nintendo. They flew to Japan, they offered them some money, and they got laughed out of the office. End of the story. Well, Microsoft, according to these leaks with Phil Spencer, these guys are still hawkish on it, and they're trying to figure out a way to do that. So it could be a shell company, it could be all kind of stuff. Now, here's the thing. Money talk, bullshit walks. They're not going to walk in there and say, here's $200 billion. They're not going to walk in there and say, here's $300 billion. They have to find out a better way to do it. I don't know if that's waiting for, stock prices to go down, waiting for some people to get laid off, waiting to come in with a rescue. But here's the thing. It's more than just Nintendo. I told you earlier at the beginning of the show. There was Valve, WB. These guys are trying to buy Valve. If they buy Valve, then they corner the PC market, right? So all the PC guys would have to come through their store. Those instantly become however many Steam users out there, right? Call it 300 million Steam users. Fuck it, call it 500 million Steam users. Instantly get transferred over to Game Pass users. Well, that's one way to stay in gaming. What's another way? If you buy Nintendo, well, Nintendo has 130 million fucking Switch owners. That's another way. Roll those games into, right? Roll them into Game Pass. So Microsoft is being shady, right? They're not in it to just make great games and have you to buy their games and make a great platform and have you to buy their platform to compete just like everybody else, like Nintendo and Sony. No. These guys are trying to muscle their way and leverage their money. And I'm all about leveraging money and doing what you got to do, but come on. That's the definition of a monopoly. When you're buying up all your competitors, you're literally buying up all your competitors. The mere fact that they are, not we, but they are in a acquisition deal. Let me repeat myself. They are in a active acquisition deal. One of the biggest, if not, it is the biggest in history. A $70 billion acquisition. They're in the midst of it. They fought the FTC. They fought the CMA. They fought the EU. Claiming they're good guys. We're good guys. We're going to put our games on Nintendo. We're going to put our games over here. We could have dealt with Valve. We could have dealt with him. We could have dealt with motherfuckers we never even heard of, right? But all of it was a sham. All of it was a sham to make it seem like they're the good guys and they're in it, that they don't mind, you know, competing and doing this and that. We're good guys. We just want people to play everywhere. But behind the scenes, your real agenda has been exposed. You're playing the long game, and that's what Phil Spencer says. Oh, we're playing the long game. We'll wait them out. First, we'll put the Call of Duty and we'll put some games on there, and then eventually we'll so intertwine and we'll just move in. We're gonna go in as a partnership. Oh, we're partnering, and then we're gonna go and take over. We're gonna have them shine these fucking shady deals that we can get out of at any time. Once this deal is passed, we're just gonna say, hey, it just didn't work, and we just move on. And we're gonna squeeze them out. They're freaking gonna try to buy Valve. They were gonna try to muscle and take over Nintendo. What more? I mean, they're gonna try to buy WB, and all these guys talk about, oh, we don't want consolidation. Consolidation is bad. You just let them buy the world's largest publishers. They just bought ZeniMax, which included Bethesda and a ton of other fucking studios and other things, right? They're trying to buy Activision Blizzard, which consists of Call of Duty, the biggest game in gaming, World of Warcraft, another biggest game in gaming, Overwatch, so on and so on. These guys are trying to destroy the market. And here's the thing. Dr. Martin Van Nostrom was good, my brother. Regis Skull was good. I think the biggest thing is, look what they're doing with their own IPs that they've bought. They bought from Bethesda, right? Starfield, I know people are going to say, oh, it's the greatest game ever, right? We know the cap on that. It's an okay game, right? But it falls far short of their previous games, the previous Fallouts and the previous Oblivions and Skyrims and stuff like that, right? It's not even in the same league. Let's face it. B Staples, absolutely. Let me give my brother his modding wrench. Should I block B Staples or should I give him a mod wrench? I don't know, man. We gonna see. Bro be capping. Let me do it. Hold on one second. Yeah, but I'm telling you guys. Something just doesn't sit right with me when it comes to Nintendo. Nintendo has outlasted all of their competition except Sony. And why? Because they make great games. They make consoles at the right price. And, you know, they're not perfect. They're not perfect. B Staples, that's actually untrue, sir. Square Enix came out again and reiterated that Final Fantasy 16 was a success. It sold over 3 million within 5 days. And that was right in line with what they expected. Those were sales. Those were tangible $70 sales. Given a platform that has 40 million install base versus Starfield, that's for free in Game Pass, that's accessible any and everywhere on a Samsung TV, on a phone or whatever, having 6 million people that's just downloaded it. So I don't know, I will fall back. But here's the thing. All right, B Staples, since you're going to say that, I thoroughly expect Starfield to win the NPD. I expect Microsoft to win the NPD. If they don't win the NPD for September, we're going to revisit this. We're going to give y'all a congratulatory L, and then we're going to make that what it is. You know what I'm saying? We're going to make that what it is. Buck says, something has occurred to me. Damn, this might be more than meets the eye. Big facts. This is definitely some Transformers shit. Let's go a little bit deeper, guys, because this shit gets deeper. Let me tell you the incompetence. Not only are these guys uploading their personal information, their internal information to government websites, but inside of this, these guys talk about 2020, back when the consoles launched. They seen Sony's would you say, state of play? Or no, it was a PlayStation showcase. Let me read it. This was Phil Spencer to Satya Nadella and Amy Hood. This came from March 18, 2020. And I believe this was the day that they had the PS5 reveal. Phil Spencer says, and this is fair use, I'm just reading, even as I type this, I know I shouldn't, but I can't help myself. We've all lived with 7 years of starting off a generation with the price and performance and messaging disadvantages to the PlayStation 4 with the Xbox One. I have to admit, this morning when I woke up knowing the PS5 reveal was today, that the stress level was higher than normal. Now, after almost 12 hours of soaking in their unveil, taking apart their specs and looking at the community responses, I just wanted to say that I'm proud of our team. We have a better product than Sony does. Not just on hardware, but equally important on the software platform and services on top of the hardware. We have the ingredients of a winning plan. I felt the feedback from the BOD discussion on being too confident, and maybe this will reinforce that perception. I get the need to be humbly confident, but today was a good day for us. We haven't won anything, and I know we have a hard discussion about pricing, P&L, investments, etc. This mail isn't trying to scoop any of that. Those discussions really matter, but we can take confidence in our product truth here, and I do believe any conversation needs to start with believing in that. This was a good day for Xbox. Thanks for indulging. Basically, Phil Spencer was bragging. When they saw PlayStation Showcase showing the PS5, showing the 9.2 to 10.3 variable clocks and T-flops, the RAM, SSD, and everything else, when they saw all of that, they said, ha ha ha, I feel good because we got a more powerful console. We got a 12 T-flop console. We got, a SSD drive. We have velocity engine and rapid pack math and all this other marketing term. Now let's fast forward a couple of months. That was in March. Their Xbox Series X and S consoles launched in November. They launched with literally 0 games. So why was he bragging and why was he so glad and happy in March? But they ended up fucking not having a single fucking game to launch with. I mean, think about that. What happened? Was it Halo got delayed? In between March and November, I got your book. I got you. I'm reading it. In between March and November, something happened. Something happened. Shout out to my brother King's Blood. Big facts, brother. Big facts. You bragging in March to your boss and to your coworkers. I seen they trash ass PS5. I'm more confident ever in our shit. We finna mop the floor with them. Not only on the hardware spec, but the services and the software. That means they got the games, they got the services ready, and the hardware ready. But something happened between March and November when they launched them goddamn consoles to where they literally launched with no games. They had 2 third-party games, the Falconeer and the Medium. 2 indie games, and both of them were dog shit, rated extremely low. So what happened in between? Some kind of disconnect. Either Phil Spencer is lying to Amy Hood and Satya Nadella saying, yeah, we got this, we got the software, we got the services, we got the hardware, we got this shit rocking and rolling. I'm confident. But something happened because in November, they launched the consoles. It was a somber moment. They had no big games. They had no games, literally. Everybody was playing fucking back-to-back games. I'm playing this old Xbox One game at 120 frames a second. That's what everybody was doing. They weren't playing next generation games. They weren't playing Demon Souls. You know what I'm saying? They weren't playing Miles Morales. They were playing old games that they had been playing for the last fucking 15 years prior. So was Phil lying to Satya and Amy Hood? Or did he really have some shit cooking that was ready and something happened? Or like what happened? They didn't even have the tools. Shout out to my man Slim over at RDX, man. They didn't even have the tools. So Phil is so confident. He's telling them that we got all this shit ready. We seen what Sony is dropping. We more confident in what we got. We got the games, we got the hardware, and we got the services. Well, something happened between March and November. I don't know what happened, but something happened. They dropped the ball, and all they goddamn games got. Even the following year, right? Even the following year when Halo got it, like everything just kind of crashed from there. They released Halo the following year. Then they went all 2022 with literally 0 games. Then they came out 2023. Their first next generation game, Redfall, was a dud. 30 frames a second. Their second first party game, 30 frames a second. It wasn't the game of the generation. Hell, it wasn't even the game of the day with Starfield. I'm just saying the shit, what, an 82 Metacritic right now? I mean, that's good from Xbox standards, but from an industry standard, it's mid. It just is what it is. It didn't do what they thought it was going to do. So I don't know. We need to discuss that. Is Phil Spencer just a known liar? Does he lie to his internal team, or he just lie to his groupies? This is something we got to take into consideration. Let me read what Buck said. Let me. You know what? Let me do it. I'm gonna add my man Buck in here. He has a take on this, and I want to see what kind of take he has. Let's give it a second. I want to see, because I want to get another person's opinion on this. We still got some more stuff to talk about, man. Listen, I've been telling y'all for years, Phil is not that dude. He is not that guy. He is not the man to bring Xbox back. He is he's the sellout. Say what you want. When Donny D ran things, hey, you had your exclusive games. He tell you, hey, you don't like what we offer you? We got an old shit. Go play our old shit. It is what it is. What you gonna do? Can't cry about it. This is our vision. This is what we're gonna have. Shout out to Phil Bosch. Shout out to you, brother. Brian East. Listen, let me bring my man Buck that into the house. I want to see what he got to say, because I do want to get another person's opinion on it. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to get a objective point of view on things. There we go. Buck. Come on in here, brother.
So, what is the media running with right now? They're running with the whole leak thing, and then blame game. Oh, they back and forth, right? And now it seems like it's settled as far as all these articles that Microsoft. Oh, it was just an accident, but we're not looking at the fucking all the other options that it could be. These could be fucking leaked on purpose. I'm not sure I fucking believe that this is just an accidental leak. This is more of that self-immolation shit that we were seeing Microsoft do during the whole fucking FTC case. They would constantly do shit like that.
It could be, but you have to ask yourself. Microsoft has already said, Satya Nadella and Phil Spencer has already said that they have more acquisitions that they're looking into. Mm-hmm. Why would you leak this stuff right here where you're exposing yourself to the world, how nefarious you are? Mello is Lil Rodney's son. Was good, player. You're exposing how nefarious in your plans to buy Nintendo and basically buy up everything.
Yeah, either on their side, they didn't think shit was going their way, so this is a way to make it look more plausible, or they did fuck up on the redaction part. Plausible as far as making it look like
they fucked up on the redaction part. Listen, Buck, it's a redaction.
Leaking it on purpose for whatever reason, because they're already they know the writing's on the wall. Like if you but this they know they're not going to hit that fucking 100 million or whatever, or somebody internally that just doesn't want the fucking deal to go through. It doesn't necessarily have to be the FTC. It could be somebody that's got paid off by fucking Blizzard or Activision, and they want that payout.
You think
it's somebody there's 100 reasons why this could be leaked, other than a simple clerical fuck up. You know what I'm saying?
This is what I believe. Okay, there's two sets of books here. You have the redacted version of these documents, because the FTC and the CMA, everybody, they've seen these documents already. Yeah. But they saw the redacted version. They never saw the unredacted version. You got to realize when you're in the court of law and they have discovery, your goal is to block out things that you don't want them to see, that's not relevant to the case or that could hinder your position. You block that out under the guise of confidentiality. Yeah. You block that out, right? And then so you leave open the stuff that's pertinent to what they're asking for. So there's two sets of books. You have the original documents, and then you have the redacted version. These guys, they uploaded the wrong copy.
From what I understand, they uploaded. From what I understand, if you had access to it, you would have to download it. It's still redacted, but like if you open it in Adobe, it's not redacted because you can fucking look at it, or you can zoom in on it and all this shit. So but that's my understanding. So it's still a fuck up. It's not that easy.
It's not that easy. But, these were okay. Here's the thing. There's original documents, and people sat in the office. Phil Spencer, Satya, and the rest of those guys. They sat in the office and they took a Sharpie.
What are we doing here?
Oh man, this man had. Oh man.
Oh man, they been trying to deal my DM, trying to kill me, Jay.
Oh man, they trying to go at you.
Mad at me, man.
Listen, I said in the beginning, this was Lena Khan and the FTC trying to get back, according to Post Up now, according to the Xbox dudes.
Oh, is that what they're running with right now?
They ran with it this morning before the FTC actually spoke and said, no, it wasn't us, it was Microsoft. They did that.
Is Microsoft finally copping to it though? Because I see a lot of articles that are just they're just going with Microsoft.
Trust me.
This is a lot to process, but me and you, we had this conversation about Buck, especially Buck made this known about what Microsoft was doing about buying things, and Buck was trying to allude to it. And I remember Godzilla was pushing back. He always got to push back about, they trying to compete. And Buck, you were saying, when are Microsoft going to stop? Now, they're even thinking about buying Nintendo. This is not about competition. But you mentioned this.
And Valve.
Yeah. Buck has said this, like, this is no longer about competition. Microsoft is being a greedy, gigantic company that they always have been. But they just trying to save face like, oh, look, guys, what a good guy. They want to buy Nintendo. They want to buy Valve. They want to buy every and anything. This is not competition no more. This is literally them trying to buy a game in itself and force everyone to get on their platform, whether you like it or not. So
people have this weird hypocritical thing towards tech companies. They have all this smoke for them on this cultural shit and all this stuff but then it's your favorite they make your favorite console. So then all of a sudden it's like, let them buy whatever the fuck they want. But it's like,
can you imagine the smoke Sony would have got if this information would have came out, or how they trying to buy up everything? I mean, these guys already give Sony smoke just because they have exclusives. But this is some scumbag shit.
Oh, and by the way, Phil lied again. The whole not taking off Starfield and a whole bunch of Elder Scrolls. So that the leak showed that he lied.
Yeah.
Like literally they were supposed to be slated for PlayStation, and he stated that any game that was already slated, we're gonna honor the contract and turn around and leak.
He removed. Yep, he told them specifically, stop working on the PS5 and the PS5 version of Redfall and Starfield, and they were deep into development for it. So that's just kind of
they've been lying all this like, and for some odd reason people still believe that these dudes is telling the truth, even with the leaks showing the complete opposite. Like these dudes literally lie.
So after this information came out, this is what Nintendo fans have been saying. They are adamant against this in Microsoft right now. So I'm going to read some comments from what these Nintendo guys have said from the Nintendo sphere. So guys, I'm starting to think this whole good guy feel persona is pure marketing bullshit. That's what shout out to Mama Dolores said. Majestic Pear said nobody ever suggested otherwise. Microsoft always been known for monopolistic practices. Zykar Whitehart said, tell that to the people cheering on the Blizzard Activision purchase. To them, being able to play COD on Game Pass will be the best thing ever. So Phantom Limb says, so he flatly states that he's encouraging friendly parties to buy up Nintendo shares in order to influence the board to look for more of a favorable sale to Microsoft. We'll likely never know, but I wonder how Nintendo leadership is reacting internally now that his plan, given in such explicit terms, is in the public record. Think about that, what this guy is just saying. Shout out to A Phantom Limb for this. Microsoft is getting their friends in the gaming sphere to go and buy up a bunch of Nintendo shares, so when they have enough, they can pull them together to muscle Nintendo into selling to Microsoft. That shit is illegal.
Hey.
That is illegal.
Remember, couple of their people moved over to Bethesda or Activision, and then Microsoft ended up buying those same people over.
Mikey Barra. Remember, he left and went over to Blizzard, get that shit going, know the ins and out, and reports back to Phil and Satya. And then when it was time, what happened? Bought him.
Yeah.
So let me read this last one. Electronic Injury. Shout out to him. Microsoft shouldn't be allowed to buy even a tiny indie studio anymore. Just casually abusing the fact that they are backed up by one of the biggest companies on the planet to buy up everything. Being the least profitable of the three gaming hardware and software companies, and yet being the one who buys up the most. Fuck off. They shouldn't be allowed to buy crap anymore. Fuck Microsoft, fuck Xbox, and fuck Phil Spencer. God damn.
Has anybody looked at their stock today?
Guy. You cannot argue with this. No, I haven't. I don't. Yeah, I'll let somebody else manage it. But I'll look. Yeah. But this is listen. That's why I said earlier, Buck. Microsoft they wouldn't fucking do this on purpose, because this is it's bigger than that.
I would admit I would have meant like somebody that they're there, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're in the best interest. They're like either disgruntled, or they just want the shit to go sideways, or whatever. But I don't know. But so okay, what do you think it is at this very moment? Do you think it's a clerical error on Microsoft's part, or do you think the FTC leaked it?
I think
FTC will not like
the FTC.
Hold on. If FTC leaked this will be a reason for Microsoft to sue them, because they already against them, right? Leaking information like this. So
that's government tampering. That would be government tampering. Yeah, that would be government tampering.
Right, and not only that, right? We got the Azure. Remember, I think I posted this earlier, and the information came out. This was leaked from the Azure, the cloud thing.
Yeah.
FTC don't have any control over that. Yeah, that's Microsoft internally.
It was a 37 terabyte leak, 38 terabyte leak.
That's not FTC. That's in the Microsoft Azure. That came from Microsoft Azure Cloud. FTC has zero control.
I'm gonna tell you what it is. It was just a file, right? It was a file name. One was probably named redacted, and one was unredacted. The motherfucker clicked on the wrong file and uploaded. Simple.
Oh my god.
That's simple. It's literally that simple.
What do you think they're gonna do to that motherfucker? Jesus.
People are trying to say that the file was uploaded. People are saying the file was uploaded, but FTC's the one that made it public.
No. Here's the thing about man. Here's the thing. The FTC don't have a dog in the fight with this shit, right? Because it's over, right? It's over. Their job is to advocate for consumers. They get no money from this shit. It doesn't matter. They moved on. This shit here, again, the FTC never saw the unredacted copy. They saw the redacted copy. They saw what Microsoft wanted them to see. They didn't see everything because they don't. If you've ever been in a lawsuit, right? If they ask you for your cell phone, your text message records and stuff, you don't just give them everything. You white out you black out the stuff that is not pertinent to the information. It's none of their business, right? But the stuff that's relevant in there, this is what your lawyer would do. He would get this information, the stuff that's pertinent, he would keep, and the stuff that's not pertinent, he will black out because it's really none of their business, right? The conversations that you have with your internal team or your friends, text messages and stuff like that, that's private. That was not meant for public consumption.
You know what it is? It's me being in denial that somebody could be so fucking dumb that they do something so at this time, because it just seems like
horrible timing.
Like, what the fucking odds that it happens?
Horrible timing. Horrible timing.
So it's like I can't even like bring myself to believe that it would be something so.
No, but
they're doing the. I mean, that's an important acquisition for them, you know.
True.
But fuck that up in any way is just.
But that's why I say what I said earlier, because we're gonna go over the data again. I want to reiterate.
Let's be realistic here, Jay. We wouldn't have to be here had they went ahead and closed a fucking deal. They wanted to they had the opportunity to close a deal. What did they do? They chose not to close the deal and wanted to do a whole bunch of extra shit, right? They just closed the deal and then moved on. Microsoft didn't want to close the deal. I mean,
so let me read y'all this again, and this will shine a little bit extra light on the situation. Microsoft may exit the gaming business if Game Pass subscribers off console don't increase enough by 2027. That's one little piece.
4 years from now.
3 years from now, because this is the end of the year, right? So you got to write this off. They have to hit 100 million Game Pass subscribers on console in order to continue.
That's true.
Now, hold on. There's another key component to this. Their goal by the fiscal year of 2030, that means 2029, they have to achieve industry leadership. That means they have to be the number one. That means they have to surpass Nintendo and surpass Sony. So how does that happen if you can't meet your goal for the Game Pass subscribers? That means they would have to buy Valve, which is PC. They would have to buy Nintendo, which is basically a big chunk of console. Because I mean, Sony, nothing's ever going to happen there. So think about that. This is their goals.
Nintendo, they want to put Game Pass on PlayStation. We still see now that letter from Phil even to this day.
They're still working for that. They have, but man, now you see how desperate it is, right? They have to do what they have to do to hit that 100 million Game Pass subscriber, because if they don't, it's game over.
I think they've already relegated themselves to knowing they're not going to. I think some of this stuff, maybe not this leak in particular, but other stuff like the shit we were talking about last night, is definitely controlled shit, because they're trying to break it to people easy as far as their the base and shit. You know, the writings on the wall with the
check this other statement, right? So Phil Spencer, he said getting Nintendo would be a career-defining moment. Oh. That means if he was to get Nintendo, not only would he have closed on the Activision Blizzard deal, which was huge, not only him closing on the ZeniMax deal, which is huge, but he would buy the de facto name in IP of gaming that's been the face of gaming since the early 1980s.
That would have been so gross.
Something that Bill Gates couldn't and Steve Ballmer couldn't get done, Phil Spencer would have did that. What his predecessors couldn't do. That would be a defining moment. Would go by his name. He would go into like the Hall of Fame. These guys are fucking scumbags. They're not in it. They're not in it for the gaming to give you great quality and give you good shit. This shit is there are suits. And the sad part about it is people treat Phil Spencer like he's not a suit. Oh, like he's just a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. This motherfucker is the head suit. His job is to go in there and make you his friend and make you forget about the fact that he's been fucking you for the last 15 years by giving you shitty games, shitty services, and shitty hardware. That's what he's been doing. And these dudes fucking took the bait. Even now, with all this information coming out, they're out there defending him. And, Phil, we love Phil. Well, we don't care. You can buy Nintendo. We don't care. Phil Spencer.
What?
Phil Spencer.
There's not bots that thinking that would have been a good idea.
Listen,
They
listen,
doing
they
it,
are.
saying
They
it right
literally
now.
are. They don't give a fuck. Whatever Phil Spencer wants is what they want.
Look, they are literally saying, imagine Microsoft buying Nintendo, and imagine all the greatness that's gonna think about this. They basically saying with Microsoft backing infrastructure for Nintendo, this will be great online, great everything. Nintendo needs Microsoft because they can't get the basic thing. Bro, these dudes is literally justifying by saying that imagine getting Game Pass on Nintendo on a Switch, right? Imagine getting access to Xbox games.
All their games would turn into shit too.
Yeah. Oh, let me read this.
Online would be better. I mean, it's like,
let me read this because
okay.
this goes to the point, right? This goes to the point. The FTC lawyer James Weingarten put the following internal Xbox Game Pass slide in front of Phil Spencer, asking him whether he agreed with the projection that showed that subscription service surpassing 100 million users between fiscal year 29 and fiscal year 30, largely due to an increase in PC and cloud market. Phil Spencer said in no uncertain terms that Microsoft could exit the gaming business if this projection became a reality. Microsoft needs to greenlight and blue segment PC and cloud to get the larger portion before 2027, or else it could opt out of the business altogether. So that's a hard deadline, guys. If these motherfuckers are not at 100 million Game Pass subscribers by 2026, fiscal year 2020, well, it would be fiscal year 2027, but it's 2026. They got 3 years, two and some change.
Remember that leak. They got that all digital Xbox Series X.
Yes,
right?
the Series X coming, yeah.
And they also got all the.
One more. That's what I'm going to talk about, Manhattan. So there's one more system. They have a mid-gen refresh, which is not even a mid-gen refresh. It's just they're removing the disk drive. They're making the system round. The Xbox Series X is going to be a round shape instead of a cylinder, instead of a rectangle shape, cinder block shape. Now it's going to be round. And then they just remove the disk drive. That's all it is. It's not much change. They updated the Bluetooth and the Wi-Fi in it because the shit that's in there now is the shit from last generation. It's the old version, so it's not like the PS5. That's it.
Wi-Fi.
That's all they're doing. There's no internal changing or any new CPU or nothing like that. And the next,
go ahead.
Yeah, and the next system that they're going to have that's allegedly coming out in 2028 is their next generation system that's ran on ARM chips. And y'all know what ARM chips are, right? It's the same chips that's powering your cell phone, your tablets, the Switch, and other mobile devices.
So we see why they're making mobile games all the time.
Yes. So it's a hybrid system, but it's not a portable. It's a hybrid system.
Here's your super lucky tails. This is basically.
Yes. So this hybrid system is able to run the apps from your mobile phones and the cloud games. So the native you're gonna have native apps, native game to run your apps, and then for like your after this Activision Blizzard deal close, so they'll have King, right? They'll have King, so they'll have Candy Crush and a shitload of other mobile cell phone apps or whatever that they're going to start doing.
Redfall will start to look really good too.
Well, absolutely.
That'll be one of their best games.
And then the other side of that alleged console, right? I don't even know if we can call it console at this point, but the other side of this console is leveraging the cloud to run the bigger games, your multiplats and stuff like that. So they're really leveraging this. But as far as us getting a higher T-flop type Xbox Series X type system, that's not in their roadmap going forward. It's not a powerful system.
Hey, should we be worried about like Tim Dog and them? Are they going to be okay?
They listen right now. They Tim. Shout out to my brother Tim Dog. He apologized. He said he's sorry for running with the Yeah, here, let me tell you exactly what he said. Tim Dog. He said, I will say I was wrong to blame the FTC. If true, in the end, it's kind of all laughable. I'm just glad Xbox is super aggressive and the games are coming, so that's a bright side. That is a response to shout out to my brother Post Up, the GitHub guru, the lawyer, the Twitter lawyer of the FTC, Bandit, he said it was Microsoft, not the FTC, who mistakenly uploaded these leaks to the court website, which is the government's website. So shout out to Poster for being honest and setting this record straight. It wasn't
Not
the FTC.
fake news.
Yeah.
You know what? You know why they kept saying FTC, Jay? Because they tried to say that, well, Microsoft, somebody from Microsoft made a mistake, but FTC is the one that made it public. I'm like, bro, you do realize public have access to certain information from FTC government site. I'm like, bro, these this is sad. This tells you how much people don't pay attention to nothing in politics. Y'all do know that governments have websites where you can have access to a lot of information that they put out there. It's your job to go out there and then read these things. That's not their problem, right? You guys to get a man saying, well, they made it public. I'm like, this is nothing new for them. You do realize, like, this is nothing new for them, right? They make stuff public. It's Microsoft who uploaded the wrong document. That has nothing to do with FTC. That
happened during the Alex Jones shit too, with the or not even uploaded. It was just like texting. All his documents and shit.
Yeah, his lawyer, Alex Jones' lawyer, accidentally uploaded this shit to the wrong people, to the opposite side. The people who were trying to see. Yeah, that was a big.
Yeah, but that's not. You can't blame the court for that because stuff do go public. And they should know that. Now, what you choose to upload, that's on you. They fucked up. That's on Microsoft. That has nothing to do with FTC. You can't blame them for that. So
my man Ryan.
By the way, Jay, while you was talking about all the devices, you forgot. Microsoft also got their own DualShock. Remember, it was not innovative. Nobody give a fuck about it.
It has the DualSense haptic feedback and all that stuff.
They took all the features from DualSense.
Yeah. But man, I think the bigger picture is. Back in 2020, March of 2020, they were so confident in how they were going to beat Sony because they had the games, they had the services, and they had the more powerful system. How the fuck did that shit go epically wrong? How did you lost in the power narrative, right? You lost in the performance narrative. You lost in the services. You're losing. I mean, there's more PlayStation Plus subscribers than there are Game Pass subscribers. That's just the facts of it, right? So... That's
why, J-Dub?
Yeah.
You know why? Because they thought that 12 was bigger than 10 just outright, and they didn't pay attention to what Cerny was saying with the I/O throughput, that you can do way more with less.
Yeah, well, Mark Cerny said that T-flops is an inaccurate way to measure performance because you have to take everything running to account. You can have a fast CPU, but if you have a slow I/O and slow RAM and slow everything else, or shitty drivers and everything else that goes, then it don't matter. And I think that's what people didn't take into account. They doubted Mark Cerny and they end up with an L. And guess what? I hate to say it, but clock's ticking. So all my PlayStation Nation and Nintendo Nation people, just know that the clock's ticking. We got about 2.5 years before they're gonna have to shut this motherfucker down. So I don't know what they're gonna do because I mean, unless that Nintendo deal goes through, unless they can muscle Nintendo. But see, I think there's gonna be legal ramifications for that because if Nintendo try to say, wait, we have corporations and their partners out here conspiring against us. Nintendo could actually go to court and say the reason why Call of Duty isn't on our platform is because Microsoft got with their friends, their friends over at Activision Blizzard, Bobby Kotick, and kept these games off of our platform. They would have a legitimate case because these documents show that Microsoft, that Phil Spencer and them was conspiring. Hey, go buy up their Nintendo shares, go buy up the shares, and once we get enough to make some rah-rah, we're gonna push and muscle them to sell to us, and what to the point where, hey, you answer to the shareholders. That's some scumbaggy shit.
Yeah, I didn't realize how bad this, because literally, like your show, when as soon as you went live, you were giving me the news like almost in real time. Like I heard about the dump happening last night, but I guess people have been combing over it all night, and so I didn't know it was that fucking bad. That's why my first instinct was like, it can't be a clerical fucking error. It's got to be so they leaked this on purpose because the fanboys are in denial about them getting out of the console. But I thought it was some shit like that, but I didn't know it was this fucking deep.
This email from Phil Spencer to Chris Caposelli and Takeshi Numoto back from August the 6th, 2020 says, I totally agree that Nintendo is the prime asset for us in gaming, and today gaming is our most likely consumer relevant. I had numerous conversations with LT of Nintendo about tighter collaboration. It's like if any United States company would have a chance with Nintendo, we are probably its best position. Think about that. Microsoft could come in and say, hey, we have Game Pass, we have the cloud, we'll help you with your cloud streaming and your online service. You just give us a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and before you know it, wham, it's a takeover. That is like, I can keep going, I can keep reading further, but just that part in itself is fucking crazy.
Microsoft might have regulators coming after them now because of all this shit, because it's showing what they're doing behind the scenes.
Yeah, and you see why they did such a huge 360 on their public image and why they went so hard in this lately.
Yep.
Yeah.
They cleaned themselves up because this is stuff that's known to people who have been around a long. I mean, goddamn, the culture of fucking Microsoft was fucking brutal back in the day.
Well, and that's what they had to get. They had to get busted up and shit like that.
Yeah, and they had to, do a facelift, and it's worked on a lot of people, but looks like it might be over.
It's again
for anybody, for anybody believing that public face is real. So, besides a small portion.
Phil Spencer lied again in court to the FTC. Phil Spencer, they asked him about Elder Scrolls and some of the games that are long, kind of far out, 5 years. They asked Spencer. They asked Phil Spencer, was Elder Scrolls 6 exclusive, and he said, "Well, it's 5 years out, and we take each game case by case." Well, the other documents came out and said that it was exclusively on PC and Xbox. So they had already had internal scene. They already knew these games were going to be exclusive. But Phil Spencer told the FTC something different. Again, trying to make it seem like they're the good guys. Oh no, it could technically it could come. We just hadn't made a determination because the game is so far out, and it's the same bullshit. Now, this is not from a fanboy standpoint. I don't give a fuck. The game is going to be on fucking PC and Xbox. It is what it is. It's exclusive to those two platforms, right?
And I'm not excited for it after playing Starfield.
After you play Starfield, there was no hype for that game at all. Why? Well, it's just like
not for me in particular, unless it's drastically upgraded.
It's not. It'll be running that same dog shit engine. It's going to be 30 frames a second. And look at the hardware when it comes out, right? Let's say 2028. Look at the hardware that's going to be out then. This hybrid streaming / app player. Who's fucking excited for that?
Hey, J-Dub, they just think about it. They might have put the nail in the coffin of Game Pass because they just lost the confidence of every gamer, except for the ones that are in that camp. Everybody else, they're done. No, they lost it right there. It's over.
Yep.
The PC community, Nintendo, and you think about it. Think about what might Nintendo do from this.
It's over. I don't know. Yeah, I think the public face that they've had for a long time. I think that's pretty much that's a wash. Nobody falling for that shit anymore.
Phil might as well come out in a suit from now on because nobody's going to give two shits that he's wearing a hoodie and a pair of jeans anymore.
I think
Nobody
it'll blow
cares.
over for the most part because people want to make money. So he is money and being around him, so people, how the industry is, they still kiss your ass. Just because you're who you are, they'll still kiss your ass. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So,
man, this is...
It'll be business as usual. They'll at least act like it's business as usual. He's a professional. Come on. Got to put on that face. Go out there on stage and...
It says that the United States District Court has now deleted every single document from the FTC versus document. The FTC leak was not their fault, saying that they did not upload the unredacted Microsoft documents. I told you guys, there was two sets of documents. Those were the
It's too late now.
unredacted, and then there was the redacted. Microsoft supplied the redacted within the court case. But once the case or whatever was done with the FTC or whatever, I guess somebody decided to upload or something, and they uploaded the wrong file. That's just what it is.
Yeah, by accident. Yeah, because because they were probably off by a couple numbers. Think about it. When you're saving your files, you know what I mean? That close, they're probably one number off or something.
Trust me.
Somebody fucked up big.
Listen, check this out. I think, mark my words, there's a data dump out there. All this information is already data dumped out there. Once it goes on the internet, you can never get it back. I mean, I have half this shit in my phone right now, right? Yeah. So
I have screenshots of every image. All the images, I have them saved.
You don't think Bloomberg? You don't think? Listen, it's on Fox News. It's on every internet source right now. It's out there. I'm on Bloomberg right now. Microsoft mistakenly reveals secret game plans in court case. Now, here's the thing. Yeah, you're gonna fire some guy who accidentally made a mistake. Okay, cool. You're gonna do that. That's not gonna fix anything. That's just one lowly paid intern or whatever. That means nothing. But it shows you
or whatever.
Listen, I guarantee you, from this day on, Nintendo and Sony are probably and Valve are probably going to step back, reevaluate all of that buddy shit that they had with Microsoft and them throwing the deals out there. They're going to reevaluate it because now they see the plans, and none of them are going to want Microsoft to be successful in their plans. None of them. Valve, they're not going to want to sell. They want to remain private. Nintendo's not going to fucking want to sell. That's the pride and joy of fucking of Japan. Microsoft has been trying to manipulate and muscle them. Without us knowing this information, nobody would ever know. But now this information is out. Oh man, you can't put that back in the. That's one oops moment that you just can't. You can't. This is going to send chills down the spines of a lot of people.
This is like the ET disclosure shit.
Yeah, this is
shit. The bag.
Here's the thing: with all this stuff being known, are there legal ramifications? That's what I'm wondering.
There almost has to be.
Yeah, there has to be some legal.
Especially just like you said, if he lied, just like you said, the Bethesda shit, he's there, oh, we don't know, but there's shit, their own documents. I have the image, and it shows Bethesda, the Elder Scrolls 6, it says PC, Xbox.
Yeah.
That's fucking lying. They might have just fucked that whole ABK deal up right there.
Yeah. Oh, don't think that. Don't think that.
That might have ended it. That might have ended it right there.
But we know. Here's the thing. We know without a shadow of a doubt, if this is the end of the deal, Microsoft is getting out of gaming. That's it. Even if the deal goes through, their metrics is not even about games and owning shit. It's about Game Pass. They want that recurring monthly revenue coming in. It has to. They have to hit the benchmarks on that.
How are they going to hit 100 million? That's what I don't get. Who came up with that fucking number? Is that the number? Is that the number that they need for everything to be feasible? And you know what I mean? Like that's like the bean counter said. This is where we need to be. If we're not here, then it doesn't matter.
Okay. Here's the thing. There was a 10-year plan for Game Pass. There was a 10-year plan. Game Pass has been out now for 6 years? We got 4 more years before it's 2030.
Yeah.
Right? Well, their fiscal year, I guess is within the 2028 next generation, right? 2028. That's about 3-4 more years. So if you think about that, like they had to get the thing up and running. It hasn't been profitable literally hasn't been profitable. They haven't been able to, they have only peaked out at 25 million, and those are not even concurrent. Those are just peak numbers.
You know how you can get to 100 million?
Mm-hmm.
cut the console and put it in fucking PlayStation.
And Nintendo. But yeah, that's the end of it. That's the end of. But that's
there. You go. There's your 100 million right there.
Right there's. But we've said that all along. How many of us have been saying this for a long time? Saying you're not. Satya is not going to just keep throwing money into this. Sooner or later, he's going to end it, and it's probably at that next console gen is going to. You know what I mean? They'll have to make that decision then if they're gonna. You know what I mean? What they're going to do.
Yeah, that's. Oh man, listen. This is bad. This is horrible. Now, how do they? I mean, I don't. How does Microsoft? Do they even acknowledge this? Like, does Phil come out and say, "Hey, I'm sorry," or they just act like it don't happen? Or
I mean, maybe professionally to the right publications that might ask about it and stuff like that. But as far as with the fan base and as Xbox, it's just going to be business as usual. Come out with the fucking dimples, the same shit we've always seen.
Now let me ask you
Keep that
this,
smile,
right?
That smile going. You know.
Let me ask you this: we're all gamers. We're all gamers here. You know, we all own an Xbox. We all own a PC, a Nintendo Switch, yada yada yada. You see the company that's in last place in gaming, but they're the first in their corporate, right? The corporate is one of the biggest, the top 2-3 companies in the world. But in gaming, they've failed for the last 24 years. When you see something like this, and these guys are trying to muscle their way into first place by just buying up people and doing shady, having their partners to buy up a bunch of stock and manipulate these companies and hold them hostage. Like, does that make you does that make you want your Xbox more? Does that do anything for you or less? Or what's your feelings about that?
What, and having more access to shit? Like,
no, not more access, because you own everything, so you have access anyway, right? When people say more access, that's for people in third world countries that don't have access because they can't afford a Series S or X.
Are you saying?
I'm
in
saying,
context
what is your
with them buying up
personal?
shit?
What's your personal feelings about Microsoft's plans to take over Nintendo and Valve by any means by trying to muscle?
Oh no. You know, that goes against everything I believe with when it comes to crony capitalism and all that shit. That's just run amok bullshit. Yeah. Because culturally, games mean something, and it still has a little bit of artistic integrity in there. If you look, I mean, you still have to dig for that shit.
Yeah.
That part of gaming is still there, where there's real artists and real creative people that are trying to make something that's kind of transcends just music and all that shit. Because games is the only way you can do it. It's a unique art form, and the more it's consolidated, the less you have of that, because it's just sequels and sure you in the independent stuff you might have stuff that takes chances, but we also want that on the big budgets and stuff. And these companies who are been gaming companies for a long time, like Nintendo, they still have that culture within their system. So and Sony has developed that with the PlayStation, you know, with look at all the, Santa Monica and on, these are amazing studios that really care about gaming, and they're gamers, they're not just developers. These are longtime gamers and developers that love actual gaming, and those people exist at Microsoft as well. But when you just start buying up everything, it's just like, it's all under one roof. It's not the same as having strong competition, and you don't want to lose that. Because it feels like we've lost that just even in the last generation with Microsoft. Some of their games haven't hit, and they're kind of like a little soulless, and like they're not trying. It's just to hit a mark, like you gotta hit that date on the fucking board. I mean, look at Redfall. I mean, obviously their heart wasn't into making that fucking game. Those guys. Some will say about Starfield, although some people love it. Others feel it does kind of have a little soullessness to it compared to previous Bethesda games. And what I mean, I could say that Halo wasn't that great either, but that's a little outdated.
Yeah.
That's all. I mean, it kind of had its time.
All their shit's outdated. Think about it. Bethesda, that engine, and that game, Starfield just came out. Redfall, the devs thought they were going to cancel it, but I'm telling you, they fucking kept that game open just to take the heat away from Starfield.
That's always been my main concern about what I've seen and played with Xbox in the last, I don't know how many years, is it's feeling less and less like, passionate stuff. It's just kind of, I mean, some people will say that about Sony games though. So see, like, even me saying that, some people will say that about all the Sony games too. They're getting sick of those.
But at least the Sony games are quality. They come out, relatively bug free and finished and complete, and good stories and shit. You might not like story games, maybe like multiplayer games, but hey, that's okay. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean it's a bad game.
And they're trying too. Like, say what you will about Spider-Man. I mean, those motherfuckers they're giving you a fucking Spider-Man game. It's not like when Activision had them. Those last few that they did, where they're just like cash-ins and
look at the game that comes with the PS5, that Astro Bot. That thing's fucking. They need that in a full-blown game because that's a great little experience. You know what I mean?
I don't want to say something as harsh as like what Z would say. It was like, oh, they just don't know how to make a good game. It's just like they got talented people over there and a bunch of great studios that can do things pretty amazing graphically. Yeah. It's the management that's been fucking them over, though.
Yep, all them games as a service mandates. And
you can't say shit. like the guys that do Gears, the guys that do even the Halo guys. All of those studios have fucking amazing people there. So what's the fucking problem? It's fucking there's the way they're managing them, and so them buying more studios when you're barely doing the job you should be doing with the ones you got. It's just going to get more soulless. That's always been my concern.
But they're showing that. Like, they don't really care, right? They don't care if you get great games or not. They don't care. They just want to buy their shit to the top so they can get them fucking subscriptions. So
the IPs and shit.
Yeah. Not even like, again, Satya is a cloud guy. He's about that Azure cloud shit. That's his deal. He wants everything there. And until they get enough, 100 million subscribers at fucking $15, $20 a pop, it's not feasible. But the bots keep saying, they just invested $100 billion in all of these, and they're gonna get out of the game. And listen, Microsoft owns it. They could easily parse the shit out or just sell it to somebody else for even more money. So that 100 billion that they spent, they can fucking make 150 billion off of it by fucking selling it to Tencent and other people, parsing it out. It is what it is.
I just figured they would just stop making the console and just be
third party.
Yeah. True. But that's a lot of people that are going to get,
But that kills all your main overhead for the R&D for making a console. Think about it, all that goes away. You just have studios. That's a big difference that you can put your shit on Nintendo, PlayStation. Yeah. You put it everywhere because it doesn't matter then. You know what I mean? You're going to make way more money.
They would cut those deals so quick, and the turnaround would be like, okay, there's no console coming next generation, but it's already set up where you got a fucking Game Pass in Nintendo and Sony. So it wouldn't be like you would lose anything. Like the people, there would be overlap, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
while they're still supporting the old console while starting up the new shit. Yeah, I would think it would work like that. There wouldn't be any like lull.
But there's just something that makes me think that Microsoft's gonna have their people in their corner, but for everybody else, like you just lost them forever. You know what I mean?
And also, what's the ratio for PC Game Pass versus console Game Pass?
15 million to 10 million.
Yeah.
So though they don't have to worry about the PC people.
Yeah, they already got that.
You just have to worry about the console.
Phil already said that they reached saturation on console. They're not going to get any more subscriptions on there.
Here's my thing: if you stopped doing the consoles, you would still be supporting the old ones. So like that's what I mean with those last people that are on consoles. You'd have plenty of time to move them over. They'll just still be on the console, whatever their last console is.
But but how long would they support that? Not that long. You know how Microsoft is. They would, as soon as they could kill it, they would.
But in the meantime, they're cutting deals to get it on the other shit, so people have plenty of time to fucking get a PlayStation or a Nintendo or whatever the fuck. So and they come out and say, "Oh, well, if you still like Xbox, we got a system for you. It's the whatever."
The Xbox Series.
Because think about it. Phil said no mid-gen refresh, but we saw them, and all they are is just more storage. They're the same shit, just a little bit more storage. And then they're talking about next gen being hybrid. That's fucking taking 2 steps back.
Listen, whatever. If they get out of the console space. Whatever their last console, you make that fucking thing great, and it'll last fucking forever. Because they're going to be putting out the software that's going to be able to, hold that fucking thing for a while until people get on whatever else they get on, or PC, whatever the fuck.
They're going to put out $100 streaming stick because they don't give a fuck.
Yeah, they already gave us a spec for it. It's a little hybrid thing. It's an app. It's a little app player and a and then the cloud player. That's just
it's just like a 4K Chromecast or a Roku or you know what I mean, Fire Stick.
If there's any Xbots out there that think that that's hating or something or wanting Xbox to die, I'm thinking of it logically from business. It's just business what I'm thinking of. Like it makes more sense to do the other way, because if you're fucking eating it every fucking time on the goddamn console, but you got all this fucking software. And you have no problem putting it on another console. They're just not doing it on the fucking console, and it's all about Game Pass. So why not put fucking Game Pass in PlayStation? It makes fucking perfect sense. You got it on PC, why not? Why not on PlayStation?
Well,
how many fucking people play on there?
The fanboys don't care. They just want to beat Sony, and they just want to beat Sony. They don't care about the game. They don't care about none of that. They just want to beat Sony.
It might be time to become Microsoft fanboys.
Take that stupid pony.
Because Microsoft will clean up money wise, fucking making
Do you know what they just did? They just screwed themselves, the Xbox fanboys, because guys like you and me and fucking Z's been trying to tell them to stand up, and all they did was talk themselves into not having a console anymore. And Microsoft has led them off the fucking plank, and they've just went with it.
But wait. Ridge is saying that, well, he was trying to get the $100 off of you too, even though I don't think you ever said it was a certain thing. And I know you don't bet. But J-Dub, too, he was saying that because you bet or something. So
he can't, listen, Ridge can't get any money because here's the thing.
Shit has to come out first.
Yeah, I know.
No, not only that. If they don't get these fucking sales, right? If they don't hit that 100 million by 2026, the deal don't even matter anyway because the motherfuckers are getting out of gaming. So while you're worrying about $100 for something that could happen next generation, there probably won't be a next generation for you, and you'll still owe me my $100. So I wouldn't go to capping just yet, right? Just the fact that they have this stuff on paper and stuff, it's still fucking 2023. They're saying these documents show that they have to hit 100 million Game Pass subscribers on console. By fiscal year 2026. By fiscal year 2027, which is the end of 2026.
Even with PC, they still won't make it.
You know what I didn't think about?
Yeah. They specifically say a console.
This kind of forces Xbox to have to answer the question from fanboys too about now that it's on paper, it's shit's on wax, 2028, right? So if they do opt out, it's going to make it harder for them. Instead of not announcing something, now they got to say, "Oh, we're canceling this." That would really suck, but hopefully they still go through with it and they can squeeze out another console to last. I think it would be probably be the last one. Just make one good last one. That'll fucking last you a good fucking 10 years. Motherfuckers will still be playing on that shit. Yeah.
But they're not talking about a powerful console. They're talking about a cloud hybrid bullshit. So it's fucking dead.
Oh man.
Yeah, the refreshes, Buck, are pretty much just storage. There's no like they're not up. They really not updating. I'll send you the image of it.
Refreshes. So what? They're considering them refreshes in 2028?
No, like in 2 years, like
Oh,
2025, 2026.
Oh,
And
those.
the only thing that they did to them, no disk drive. That's it. They like the Series X.
yeah.
They removed the disk drive, and it says they will replace the existing. So they're the old ones with the disk drive. Will, as soon as they start making them, they're done. They won't make any more.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
And
and
they're
it'll
the
be
same-
$500 for nothing, and they're removing the disk drive. It's going to be the same price, and they're not adding anything
The sad part
except
about it,
one more
This-
terabyte of storage. That's it.
they're charging the same $4.99 instead of being like Sony charging, cutting it, making it $3.99. It's $100 difference. That's just fucking crazy. Who in their right mind is gonna spend $500 for less? But that's typical Microsoft, right? It's typical Microsoft. Again, these guys are so incompetent. They're incompetent in gaming. They're incompetent in everything related to gaming. It's just unfortunate.
They fell for the fucking banana in the tailpipe.
The bots fell for it. Microsoft is going to be okay, right? They're going to take their lumps and move on. But it's a lot of bots are really quiet right now. They not holding the line.
This is crazy though. This is like some like the janitor fucking dumped the fucking bucket on your files or something. Some random fucking accident shit. That's like crazy.
Yep.
Like the most important shit is fucking get it. That proves the fucking management right there. God damn.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, double check from now on. Make sure these motherfuckers ain't sending the wrong shit. Watch them do it again.
Well, it's too late now.
Another 4 terabytes.
Paperwork.
Well, it's out in the open, guys. So I mean, what are they gonna do? How can they can't. There's no fixing this. I think Nintendo, even Sony and Valve and everybody else, they're gonna be looking at Microsoft with the stink face. Because here's the thing. Microsoft said last year, the year before last, last year, Microsoft said that they trust Sony and Nintendo with gaming. They trust them because they know what they're doing, their vision, their wholehearted value about gaming. They're passionate about it, and they're in it for the customers, and they treat gaming right. Microsoft themselves never said that they're in there for the same reasons, right? So that tells you a lot. They never once said, hey, we're in there for the same reason as Nintendo and Sony. They didn't say that because they're not. The next big thing, whatever they can get out of fucking gaming, however much revenue they can squeeze out, they'll squeeze it off, bleed it dry, and move on to the next thing. They try to do it with phones. They try to do it with music. They try to do it with everything they do. And I know if you're a Microsoft fanboy, you don't want to hear that. But it is like, let's forget the fanboy side of it. Just look at it from an optic side.
God damn, I didn't even think about that. Somebody, Ryan Landis pointing out if their documents aren't safe, what makes you think yours are? It's like, oh my god, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. Don't.
They fucking uploaded everybody's shit.
Well, that was just a fuck up.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah, but it could. What if it was like everybody's fucking information? That can't fucking do that. Damn.
Ooh, man.
This
shit happens every day with data breaches, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
There's always
Sony's
shit everywhere.
Yeah, but
Sony's been data breached.
It doesn't happen internally. Like, you don't sabotage yourself.
Yeah,
generally,
not bad.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. The FTC would like you to know it didn't leak those confidential documents. It was Microsoft, according to Eurogamer.
Shit.
Yeah, and something else I know that you guys have seen, but the amount of money that Microsoft would have to pay to get the big AAA games inside of Game Pass.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
We actually got tangible information and numbers. If Microsoft wanted Suicide Squad to be inside of Game Pass day one, it will cost them $250 million. Mortal Kombat 1, $250 million. Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga, $35 million. Dying Light 2, if Microsoft wanted that to be in Game Pass day one, it would cost $50 million. Baldur's Gate 3, it would cost $5 million.
Wow.
Take-Two, to secure the title for Take-Two, for Red Dead 2, Microsoft thought Rockstar Company might charge $5 million a month. Not one time like Laren, like for Baldur's Gate 3, but $5 million a month that it's in Game Pass. So, guys, that tells you these fucking, like, you crying about Sony buying up exclusives and doing third-party deals. Sony is shelling out a lot of fucking money for that to make that happen. Yeah. Microsoft could do the same thing, but Microsoft is, they're being cheap because they don't really care about offering you, the gamer, the best value. They care about your fucking subscription renewing every single month, whether they provide you quality content or not. And I know
that's why they said expect AA. That's why they said that.
Yep. Because I mean, this is bad.
Because it's too expensive to put those big games in there day one.
Yeah.
So, do you think bots like Mello and Post and them would think we're just being over dramatic and everything is just
Of course.
They do, but here's the thing, right? They were going to say that regardless. It didn't matter. Their job is to defend Microsoft no matter how bad they do, defend them at any cost. That's, for whatever reason, I've never understood that, because it hasn't helped them with gaming, right? It's like they've been the last place and everything. They don't have the caliber of games that Nintendo and Sony has, and you would think those guys will want that, but clearly they don't. As long as Microsoft is, you know what it could be, J-Dub? Any of them that were in that ambassador program too. You're not allowed to talk bad about Xbox. That's true too. That's true. You don't want to lose the contact.
You don't get the shit. Yep. Yeah. And they kick you out of the program.
Yep. That's true. You don't get flown out. You don't get.
Remember Thrash got in? Remember?
Mm-hmm. Yep, I remember.
Oh, my Levon just pulled up. Levon,
hey. What's good, my brother?
What have you heard? What's the word today?
What's the word on the street?
What do you think about this? What do you guys think these leaks?
What, mid-gen refresh and next-gen plans? Xbox is going all digital.
Yep.
Yeah, they're going all digital. Every Xbox that get released after October 2024 will be digital.
Do you think?
No less.
Okay, you heard it here from this is the Nintendo guy. Okay, he's not the biased guy. He plays on everything. Also, what do you? How long do you think until Game Pass is in Nintendo? Levon.
Yeah, I heard you.
You think it's coming?
Do I think it's gonna happen? I don't know if Nintendo's gonna allow it.
I don't think they're definitely not gonna allow it after today.
Yeah.
After these leaks, I think all ties.
Probably not anytime soon. How about?
Well, but once they get out of you think they're getting out of the console, the hardware business eventually, right?
Well,
or you're not so sure about that? See, I just assumed that you thought as well.
Well, I mean, did you see the what's that other leak that I had?
Yeah. There's this refresh of the Xbox Series X that's going to be all digital, and then there's that next generation hybrid system that's it's an app player and a cloud player together.
Yeah.
So that's there, but that's not a high end. They're not going to make any more high end machines. It's just going to be basically a Game Pass player, app player for your mobile. I mean, it's using mobile chips, so it's using cell phone chips, so the ARM chips. So Yeah, that tells you how powerful that shit's going to be, right? So it's not meant for that. All the heavy lifting and stuff is going to be done in the cloud, and then it'll have the native apps.
My question is, will it have backwards compatibility?
Yeah, in the cloud. That's where your cloud is going to be. So you don't have to think about it. You don't have to have a lot of storage because you only need a little storage for the apps, right? The apps cost a couple of megs in memory.
Everything's already x86, so it's no different. It'll just be the same. You know what I mean? It's still all the same.
It's basically, if you think of it right, it's if you guys have, I have a Logitech G Cloud. It's a portable. It has way I can download native apps, but I can also use the X Cloud and GeForce Cloud, GeForce Now, whatever you call that shit, the GFN, and it has all of that. Basically, that's what this system is going to be. It has the cloud side of things, and it has the native app thing for the apps. That's going to be it.
It's pretty much going to be like a Chrome box, like the little Chrome boxes with the ARM chips. Similar shit, like just something like that.
Yep. That's fucking crazy, man.
Do you think that that's still a machine like that would be considered a competition with like whatever Sony's doing?
No. You can do basic shit.
Sony stuff. You literally need to buy a PlayStation. You literally need to buy a PlayStation 5. You gotta spend $399 minimum to secure a PlayStation 5. And the other thing is just an extension of that. It makes it where you don't need a TV or you don't have to use your TV. You can use that. Microsoft shit, you plug the shit to the TV anywhere, everywhere. As long as you got internet access, you can play your Candy Crush.
Something interesting.
The current Chrome boxes right now, the high-end ones, you can do like 1080p gaming.
Well, no, here's what I'm saying. I'm saying from the perspective of the corporation, Sony.
Yeah.
Considering Xbox right now, they're competition, so that's why you can't. That's why the deals go a certain way. But I'm saying if that's what Microsoft was doing, they were doing that box over there. Would they still consider them a console competitor in that space?
Prior to this leak, I would say no. They would even. Okay, if Microsoft said, "Hey, we're no longer making Xbox consoles anymore," I think Sony and Nintendo would allow a Game Pass app on their system. Because they'll get a cut. They'll get a cut of it. Well, we get certain cut for having it on a machine, right? They no longer. That means that means Nintendo and Sony's consoles are going to sell more because those people who would have bought an Xbox will now decide whether they want to probably go the Nintendo route or go the Sony route or both, right? So they're both going to increase. As one decreases, the other one increase. So right now, there's 3 players in the console space, and they're all fighting for your dollars. You're not going to spend. Most people don't spend. When you buy Mortal Kombat, you're going to buy it on one platform. You're not going to buy it on all 3 platforms. So when you buy, all the multi-plats, you're going to have to pick and choose where you're going to buy that. Spend $70 on that game. Sony is saying, buy it in our store. Give us the money. We have the better platform. This is the reason why. Microsoft is like, buy it on ours because this is the reason why. Nintendo is like, buy it on ours and this is the reason why, for whatever reason. That's how it's playing. Well, if you move Xbox console out of the space, that frees up 21 million potential customers or maybe more, right? Those who hadn't came into the next generation, they're still rocking the OG Xbox One S or the Xbox One X. They haven't made the transition yet. And they're still 20 million people who've yet to buy a Xbox Series consoles who bought an Xbox One last generation, right? So I think, I'm gonna be honest, I think with all this information coming out and just the direction where Microsoft is going and what they're trying to do, I think there's going to be a lot of people that's going to discourage a lot of people from going the Xbox route. They're going to eventually go to Sony or Nintendo. And maybe some people may wait till this new Switch 2 come out and this PS5 Pro, and then they're going to make their decision. But I mean, Sony is winning fucking NPD every single month for the last year or so. They're fucking going to be at 65 million consoles sold according to Sony at the end of the year. So fuck,
wait, how could you be saying this after Starfield just dropped?
I know, right?
This is going to be the one. This is going to turn it all around, the whole business.
That's what they said. Guys, I can't stress enough how big these leaks are. Fuck. They're epic. There's markets that's outside of gaming talking about this.
Yeah, I gotta refresh on Google and get updated on some of this stuff.
Is interesting.
And listen, mark my words, Levon, before you came in, I don't know if you were listening to the show before you came in, but Nintendo is aware now that Microsoft was trying to use its friends and partners in the industry to buy up all of the Nintendo stock to force the shareholders to force Nintendo to sell to Xbox. Currently, as we speak, that was the goal. We need to surround them. Some of the Nintendo partners and stuff. What we're gonna do is have them to keep buying up these shares so we have a bigger say so. So they're gonna squeeze Nintendo and having no choice but to sell to Microsoft.
Yeah, this is gonna be on the 6. This is gonna be on the 6 o'clock news. That's how big this is tonight.
Oh, absolutely. The industry I'm in is
I don't think
talking about
it'll happen anytime soon. I don't see it.
No, I'm not asking you that. I'm asking you, what do you think? Just the fact that Microsoft has conspired to do this shit.
Well, they're trying to take over the industry.
But I was told that they were trying to give gamers more options, and they were trying to spread the wealth and the love,
bring us more games and
yes,
all these other grandeur.
I guarantee you, after today,
things.
That deal that Nintendo cut with Microsoft about putting Call of Duty on Switch, I guarantee all that shit is null and void. Nintendo would probably wash their hands with Microsoft. Valve, them too. Gabe Newell has to be reading this shit like, what the fuck? Phil just fucking came to my office, came to my home, shook my hand, had me sign his fucking contract saying this, and this, and that. And now I come to find out this motherfucker's trying to muscle me and fucking buy me like against my will. Like this is bigger than a lot of people think. This is much bigger than what you think it is. Like he said, more games for more players.
Yeah, this definitely puts that fucking deal in jeopardy big time.
Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting to see how the CMA UK
for the next month. That's when everything's gonna be interesting.
Gamer of Light said, I traded my Series X for a PlayStation VR 2 and a Series S for some store credit.
Well, I should hopefully get a PlayStation 5 soon, just in time for Spider-Man. Hopefully.
Man, Buck, you sitting over there with 3 Xbox Series X's, brother. Come on, man.
Well, I got this one, and I told myself if Starfield didn't hit, that was going to be it for me and shit. And
yeah,
I'm still holding on. I'm playing it. I already played through the gameplay.
Let me ask you this:
it's kind of
what Xbox game are you holding off for? Like, what keeps you on Xbox?
Well, this was one of them, but every one has just been kind of miss. Like I was told from the beginning, you know how fucking Noah was, with the Xbox. Everybody back here was like telling me, even Tsunami back when.
Yeah, they all listen. They've been doing it for the last 2 generations. They've been selling you this dream,
bro. It's gonna have this and this and this. I'm like, okay, let me.
The brighter days,
I got sold on the dream.
Yeah, Tommy Bull said, "Let's do a GoFundMe for Buck PS5." Listen, I'm gonna be honest. There's no games.
I think Mike is
Buck. So the games that that's coming out, we don't know when they're coming out for Xbox, right? What games got your attention? That got you hyped?
Oh, nothing anymore. I mean, everything else is just a name on a list as far as I'm. But I do fuck with Game Pass though. I like old shit. I don't mind. EBT gaming.
Let me ask you this though. Let me ask you this though, Buck. For the same price that you spending on Game Pass, you can play PS Plus, you can play the Spider-Mans, you can play the God of Wars, you can play, all the games that you missed from the Sony side that are actually GOTYs, like high-rated, big blockbuster cinema.
Well,
what I'm saying? So that's what I'm
all
asking
the PS4 stuff. I got the PS4 Pro, I guess 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So I was just on catch up.
Well, that's true.
So I've been
but
on
now,
the
PS5.
I played Ragnarok. I played Ragnarok on.
It's on another level. It glorifies that even more. Now here's the thing: Spider-Man 2 is coming out in about a month, right? Actually, tomorrow it'll be exactly 1 month till we'll be playing Spider-Man. So you got Spider-Man 2. You got Helldivers. We got Wolverine. You got Final Fantasy 7
I got
Rebirth.
old games to play. I want to play the remaster.
Yeah, you got a lot of fucking games. And let's say you don't buy any games. You just do the PlayStation Plus. You get the collection. You got all of these games. Days Gone. You missed out on a lot of shit. Returnal. It's just a lot of games booked that you missed out that were.
Yeah, I played games
I get it. I get it. Some of that shit that you already played on the PS4 Pro. But bruh, PS5 is on a whole different level with the DualSense haptic feedback. Just the option to even have VR, PSVR 2. You know what I'm saying? Just the option.
I think I'll be able to play finish Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Because the frames kind of started to bug me on some of that stuff. I get motion sickness if I play too long, so I need them fucking frames.
David Diaz is a member of the channel. Salute to you, man. Listen, I'm gonna be honest, man. I don't know what's going on, but I'm supposed to have my super chat capabilities and all of that stuff. I don't even know if that shit is working on my YouTube channel now. I monetize the stream, but I don't see an option for y'all to drop $1 or $2, you know, in the coin purse, and to get it going in your coin purse. But it's okay as long as y'all here, man. I don't care. Y'all know I don't care about the money and shit like that. I'm good.
No.
But you know, we got 200 people in here watching, rocking out with me. Y'all seeing the news of the day. We got the Heathen Stevens. We got Buck That in here. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna probably do a show tonight, if not tomorrow, on Z's channel. But I had to jump on this. This shit is just, and I know a lot of guys like to say, well, Phil is such a nice guy, and he's such a nice guy, and he cares, and he's a gamer. He's a gamer. This nigga is a demon. He's on demon time. Yeah.
He talked to goddamn Al Pacino from that fucking movie.
Exactly.
He's like Keanu.
Yeah. 4047 said, Buck, you got Rise of Ronin coming. Who else? You got Ghost of Tsushima you gotta finish. It's a lot of shit, man, that's gonna be coming next year.
I want to stream them. I want to stream on those games.
Yeah. Well, and the thing about it is, from your PS5, you can stream directly to YouTube. You can't do.
Oh, that'd be cool.
You can't stream the shit on Xbox. So.
But you know, I got to do my overlays and shit. But that would be nice though, to be able to do not have to rely on my PC. Can you do overlays?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you there's
this service you sign to, and you set up your overlays on that, and every time you go live on your PS5, it redirects through their servers that adds your overlay and everything else.
So then you can do a camera and shit?
Yeah. And PlayStation has a PS5 camera. You just plug the camera in.
They expanded all the studio shit too. Like King Thrash does all of his videos from his PS5. He edits them and everything from there.
You can do all your editing on PS5 and everything.
Yeah, you could do everything from your PS5. You can edit the video, upload it to Twitch and YouTube and Twitter and everywhere.
I use OBS and shit on the PC.
Yeah, my last stream was directly from my PS5. I was just too lazy to go into the streaming room or whatever. I was just too lazy, so I was just stream straight from the PS5.
When I did that shit on Xbox, it just sounded like crap. I remember that.
They
sounded horrible.
That's something else.
Video was good. The sound was bad.
Yeah. I don't know why, and maybe you guys can explain it to me in the chat or even on the panel. Why is it where like your Xbox is all this power, but when you like go to do other things, it's real. So if you got a game running, it's just so slow to do other things. It's really wonky.
I'll tell you why. There's a couple reasons. Number one, it wasn't built as a pure console. It was built to be a server blade. That's number one. Number two is that RAM. With it being split in different speeds, it always will refer to the lower speed because it has to. You know what I mean? So it's whenever you're multitasking, that's the worst thing to have is that split RAM shit because it just you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Think about it. In your PC, are you going to put two different RAM sticks and speeds? No, because it's not going to run like it should. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't pay attention to too much of that shit. It's all about the software for me.
But the other thing that came out in this shit was whenever Z did a show a while back, and we were saying about them using the Series X, they took the stock and was using it for server blades, and that's actually true. That's what they've been doing.
Yeah.
And you know what? If they get out of the hardware and they were just a third party, I still think they have something to offer because of giving you, as long as there's still enough competition to still give you good deals. Because I think there is a place for the EBT gaming. I know that people will take that as like that's like shitting on it, but
here's the problem, Book. Here's the problem.
Subsidizing a lot of smaller studios and being able to pay a fee to have access to all that. That's also a good lane because it's kind of a model that's used in other shit, and to an extent also in mobile. So they're just doing it on a different with their IPs and stuff. I don't think that's a problem.
This is why you're wrong, and let me tell you why you're wrong.
Okay.
You're wrong because the numbers say that majority of Game Pass subscribers are on PC, and those aren't EBT gamers. And out of 21 million console owners on the Xbox Series platforms, there's only 5 million of those that are subscribed to Game Pass. So it's such a small base, and the majority of the Series S owners, right, are it's like 75% Series S and 25% Series X. I'm gonna be honest, those guys could take that $299 that they would have paid and just spend another $100 and get them a fucking PS5, or they could just get them a Switch, right? The Switch 2 is probably going to come in at $349 price range. There's other alternatives that would allow them to do the same thing.
Yeah. Well, I just mean having it as an option. It would just be another option like everything else. Game Pass.
Yeah, but
they have all their IPs. They got and then Minecraft and on. They got a lot of shit.
But they do, but people aren't partaking. That's what I can't understand.
They're not partaking through the Xbox console platform, but they still engage in that software. That's especially the software that's elsewhere.
True, but if you spend $2,500, $3,000, $4,000 for a PC, clearly you're not that's not the market for you, right? You're not an EBT gamer.
Yeah, I mean, it would be people that just. I mean, listen, it's all an option. Just like when you're on PlayStation, you go check out PlayStation Plus. You can opt out of it. You don't have to use it.
When it comes to women, there's many options out there, right? You can go the fat route, the skinny route, the thick route, the slim thick route. There's many ways to go, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, you can look at it that way, but if everybody's just going with the bitch with the fat ass and the big titties, does all that other stuff matter? Yes, I mean, there's an option for the real skinny chick with no ass and no titties. There's a little market for that, but it's not like everybody's going for the bitch with the big titties and the fat ass.
Yeah,
I hate to be so blunt, but I'm just saying, like, do you really want to be in gaming just for the flat chest and the fat ass, or do you want to go where everybody else is going?
Oh no, obviously you want to go. But I'm just saying, there's still a place for them to sell all their fucking software. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, but when
you're having it in front of as many people as possible on fucking PlayStation, that makes the most sense.
When you go get your weed, right, and you hop in your whip and you drive down the whole stroll, you pass all the prostitutes going through, passing through inside your neighborhood. I know where you stay, so trust me, I know. But so when you pass the block with all the prostitutes on it, you see the skinny bitch with no ass and no titties. Is anybody even stopping to pick her up a lot, or is like everybody going with the bitch with the fat ass and the big titties? I'm just saying, Buck. Like, is there really a market for the flat ass and the flat chest?
Probably.
Hey, Ryan Landis said J-Dub breaking down business for us. Big facts. I'm just saying, it's time to cut your loss. Ain't nobody looking for a bitch with a flat ass and fat titties.
I agree with that.
As a matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you how right I am. I'm right because people bitches with flat asses and flat titties, right? Flat chests, they go and get BBLs and they go and get implants and shit in their chest because they don't want to be the motherfucker that nobody chooses, Buck. So why just be there just to say, hey, there's an option?
Well,
like, you know what I'm saying?
This would be like going and having surgery, taking a skinny chick and going and having surgery, and that's taking all your bullshit you got in fucking Game Pass and presenting it under a new light, which is under PlayStation.
Hey, they wilding in the chat. They saying each other likes it flat. Like Tommy Bull said, Iron Mike like it flat.
See,
man,
I told you. I told you. Everybody, to each his own.
47 said it depends on how flat it is. Maybe if it's not so flat, maybe a medium, maybe a teardrop booty. Man, I'm just saying, bro. Like in 2023, motherfucker, go get you a BBL, go get you a boob job and call it a day. You walking around this motherfucking looking like a backwards straw. It's not. I'm just saying in 2023 era.
Yeah, I don't know. Hey, everybody's got kids, so. Somebody's into skinny girls because they got kids too.
Oh man, Blackbeard said he talk about flat like Xbox lineup. Oh man. Hey, swag bag. Hey, I blame Buck, man. He brought up the topic, man. He said there's somebody for everybody. And I'm like, man, it's 2023. What are we doing here?
Well, it would just be like another one under the service. Like Ubisoft and fucking everybody's got their stupid service.
Mike said, I like big butts and I cannot lie. Big facts, brother. Big facts. Listen, I'm just saying, like,
oh my God.
There isn't
Look at her butt.
There isn't, I don't think there's a market for someone that they're just there to be there. You see what I'm saying? They're just,
I mean, that's
what
all those services are. Yeah, they got shit though. They got stuff. You know, people want to play old Halo and shit.
Buck,
you know,
ain't nobody spending no billions of dollars in R&D just to.
They gotta monetize that for all that. They got a catalog. They still got a catalog, regardless. Even if they stop making fucking games today, stop making consoles, they got a fucking catalog. They gotta fucking monetize. They're not gonna just do it through the fucking PC. You want that in front of as many people as possible. So that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but any of their shit that's games as a service die. When the servers die, that's the end of it.
Yeah. J Doggy said, J Dub out here giving out free game. Big facts, brother. Big facts. I'm just saying.
So then what do they do with? Do they just sell it to them? They just sell it off.
Swag said, Booby soft Microsoft. Yes, Buck.
Yeah,
they sell it off.
They
package it together and they sell it off for more money. Yeah.
Okay, so but do they spread it all out, or do they just go? How do they?
Yeah, no, you spread it all out because, like, for example, if I'm Tencent, I'm looking at what Microsoft has to offer. I may just want I just may want the Activision part of it. I just may want some of the Bethesda stuff. They can bundle it up. I don't think nobody will want to spend $100 billion, but they may want to spend 30 for this and 10 for that or 5 for this. I mean, so they can, and then think about it, right? You bundling in Halo, Gears, Forza, some of that shit in there, right? There's some people from there, some studios from that, right? Who knows? I mean,
I was never a business guy, so like you.
Okay,
so.
yeah. I'm just saying.
That was a DIY guy, be it business and shit. Yeah. This is what I wish when I had a fucking little record label and shit. That's why I wasn't good at fucking selling anything.
Yeah. Buck was out there giving away. Buck was paying $1,000 to make a bunch of CDs, but he was giving away tapes and CDs for free.
Yeah, exactly.
Then he wondered why my shit won't grow.
Shit won't grow.
Yeah, come on, Buck. It's in the business, man. You should have got your business manager, man. They'll give you the game.
But
of this shit.
It was all about the DIY, just doing it and just getting shit out. But
like. You could have had some big hits back in the day.
Well,
but
promoting other people.
You would have never made any money off of it because you didn't know how to monetize it and shit like that. Listen, if you bundle, let's say if I'm Microsoft, right, and I'm trying to I take Gears, Forza, I take COD, and I take, some Bethesda, some of the id Studio. I'll bundle that shit up and sell it fucking $50 billion. Here you go. This is the big shit. You can sell that shit. Take that, and then you bundle Halo, and then you bundle, the people that make the fucking Skyrim, the Bethesda team or whatever. You bundle that shit together. You sell that to this people over here that may need that. You may not need everything all in one, but they can make a hell of a lot more money than what they spend on it. That's what I'm saying. They bought ZeniMax, right, for Bethesda, but it's way more shit inside of that. It was way more shit. You had the id Studios that make the Dooms and shit like that. And you got, of course, the people that made the fucking Starfield and the team that made the Fallout 76 and the people that make, all the shit. It's a lot of shit that's in there. Some of the shit that, what's that guy? I can't think of the goddamn name, but the other people, they can break this shit down about all the shit that came inside of ZeniMax. But they can definitely one thing about Microsoft, they're gonna find a way to fucking make their money back. That's not without a doubt. And they, here's the thing: if they decide to go third party, cool, but they still got to fund these studios. They still got to spend quite a lot of money. And if these games don't hit like the way they need, then how are they gonna ever make their money back?
Do people think we're console warring? Because somebody said this console war shit is corny. I didn't think we were going in the console war direction.
No, this is not console. This is Microsoft's own fucking word. This is Microsoft. This is just the information inside the documents. The leak, the upload shit.
Yeah.
People need to read the actual documents, because then they'll understand we're not just, there's some of the shit we've been saying for years actually is in black and white. You can read it from Phil Spencer himself, and you know what I mean?
But from the cult's perspective, and people that may or may not be on the other side, maybe, I don't want to judge every single bot, because I don't know which ones are over the wall and which ones have managed to escape the gates of the complex. But they would say we're fear mongering.
Yeah.
In here we're buying Xbox handheld.
I just want to put that out there. I don't think we're fear mongering. I would like to hear from a bot on their perspective.
No, we're just having a general discussion. That's all.
Yeah, I would like to hear from a bot seriously, as opposed to them just doing a spin on what they hear. Like, I'd like to hear from Freddie Wayne. Like, what would he think about this?
You would have to ask the LBK, because I'll bet the majority of them, they're gonna cap, because we've already seen them making excuses and shit already. Not even just them ones, but the other like Xbox guys that we know. You know what I mean? They've already been making excuses for this shit.
Here's the thing. You got people like Pastor Joe. He's trying to say that it wasn't Microsoft who leaked it, and it was somebody else. They're always looking to blame somebody else instead of having Microsoft to take accountability. Like what kind of mental, how mental in your head, how does your brain mentally, how does it operate where people, you can see something that is so plain and clear, it's not even being disputed, right? Microsoft is not even disputing the fact that it was their fuck up and that they accidentally uploaded the wrong fucking file. They sent the wrong fucking file to be uploaded, right? But you got people out here trying to justify and say, well, it's not really it's not your it's not your blame, Phil. That's some fucking crazy shit.
Well, it's the same shit they've been doing for years, turning not paying attention to this shit, but you know what I mean? This shit's been going on for a decade.
Yeah. Man.
It's always everybody else's fault, and we're trying to,
handheld.
Well, okay, wait. We got more breaking news. According to Chris Dring, he's the analyst over the European markets and stuff. He says, I have August European market data tomorrow. I'm sorry it's late. Across track markets, PS5 is up nearly 200% versus last August. Baldur's Gate data isn't available, so is FIFA. That's number one again. In terms of single formats, Zelda is number one across Europe. Of course, Microsoft is down year over year, month after month, in the negative. So, but hey, Microsoft. I mean, Sony is on course to hit those 65 million consoles sold, and they're dominating in the gaming sphere. They're outdoing the PlayStation 4 in this day and time. And they're hitting their markets, and they're up 200% pretty much basically every single month.
Oh, J-Dub, I saw something too that they said the PS5s, like 80% of them are the regular PS5, not the digital.
Yeah. Well, that's because you can easily find more regular PlayStation 5s than the digitals. And then a lot of people have that, again, the stigma. I want my disc. I want to be able to go to GameStop and trade it in. So that's another reason why people are doing that. I'm diversified. So I have both physical and digital. But even with the physical, all my games are digital going forward. All my games are digital.
Yeah, I haven't bought a physical one in a while.
That's hard for me to do at the $70 price. I did that with Ragnarok because I knew it would give me the automatic upgrade when I got a PS5. But for the most part, I try to get the physical because I am like that. Like I like to. Yeah, I have trade it in. Yeah. Because like it's the same price. If it was,
that's an option. You know?
I always thought it should be less. Like the digital one should be like a $10 less. That was the game plan, Buck. Remember that Microsoft back with the OG Xbox One, back in 2013 when they came out and they tried to stay the one with the Kinect. They said our intentions were that eventually we will get to a point where games would be able to be cheaper digitally because we didn't have to spend the money on the physical retail, the shipping, and all that stuff. Plus, we would save money by. But I mean, things change. But then these companies are coming out selling games at $75, and gamers aren't really, balking at it. Should be just for early access and shit. But people day one should get somewhat of a discount for that.
Microsoft found a way to say, well, play this game 10 days early or 7 days early for $35. Right. Wow. And then so as long as you have a Game Pass subscription, you spend the $35. But that guarantees that you stay inside of Game Pass, because if you don't have Game Pass, you can't play that game. It just gives $35 to play a game for 5 days, 7 days early. That's the narrative that Microsoft has been, and it's been successful so far, especially with Starfield. So, so all it is what it is.
Yeah, I'm still not ready for that. Not for full price. Like when games are on sale, that's different.
No, but
$40, I'll pay digitally. But for the most part, if it's a brand new game, day one or something like that, or it's just came out, I got to get the physical if I'm going to pay $70.
And
that's just me personally.
90% of the time, you're better off waiting 3 to 6 months because they usually drop down half price within that time frame anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just got to pay that premium sometimes, though, to be playing it when everybody else is. That's
Spider-Man, I'll pay for. You know what I mean? Like Hogwarts, I paid for. Certain games, I don't mind.
Yeah, I did that with God of War Ragnarok because everybody was playing it. I didn't want to miss out, so.
And it's a good
paid the
fucking
premium
game
for the movie ticket,
Yeah.
But guys, what if Xbox made a handheld? Would you guys buy it?
Nope.
No. They would still
have the same problem, right? It's a games problem.
Software.
And it's a games problem and a quality. Their biggest game.
And why would they do that when they could just put their app on the Samsung and the Google Play and iOS, and then you know what I mean? You can just use your phone.
You have more of a library on the Steam Deck.
Yeah.
Just playing Steam games.
Yep, and have it like that. So if you want to, you could use a Steam Deck.
Unless they made
or
one
whatever.
that was like, it would have to be really cheap. It would have to be very, very competitive, like. To want to play something that just was Microsoft games and shit, and if they're not going to be doing fucking other deals, they're not going to fucking. If they put out a handheld, they wouldn't fucking be doing third-party deals, They'd just be sticking all their shit that they own on it.
But then, did you see Mortal Kombat on the Switch? See how bad it looked? Like that's what you would get.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, that shit is horrible.
Because there's no point in having a 4K on that tiny ass screen like that because you can't see the detail anyway. You know what I mean? It's too small to see it.
I think the whole 4K thing was for when you dock it.
When you
because everyone has a 4K TV. That's the standard.
Yeah.
And have you seen the Switch running on a 4K TV? Man, that shit is fucking jaggy. And I'll be honest, man, it's just you can tell, like it's just not enough.
Yeah, because of the low res textures. Yeah. That's what it is. There's not enough polygons.
Yeah, the upscale. It's not like upscaled. It's not like checkerboarded to be able to get to like the other systems. At least they're able to.
It's not high enough pixel count. Yeah.
So. Yeah. What else? We got Spider-Man. Is starting to. The previews came out. It's glowing previews. It's a full next generation game. People are saying it's just crazy. They've improved the facial animations to make it more emotional, with realistic levels of ocular detail, visible capillaries. Their eyes are moistened. The eyelids. The bodies of water reflect the real world with full-on ray tracing. The characters have enhanced simulated musculature that stretch and react realistically. Much more NPCs on screen with more body shapes and types and variations of bodies. They can enter and exit buildings. Wow. Cars bop up and down with authentic suspension systems. Building windows aren't just empty anymore. You can see the occupants inside of the buildings. Wow. That's crazy. Stand on Manhattan skyscraper and you can see Brooklyn's traversal skyline far off in the distance. For those of you guys that's on the East Coast and in New York, in Manhattan and in Brooklyn, Brooklyn and all the different boroughs or whatever, you guys are going to be able to, see where you live. Full on dual sense symbiote black suit with hypersensitive to sound. Lizard's huge size and his feelings and haptics are in the game. It takes advantage of the PlayStation 5's 3D audio heightened by the 360 range of sounds and more. So I think this is going to be the biggest game of the year. I think it's going to sell like fucking crazy. Again, Sony is saying that they're going to sell 20 million, 25 million just in the holiday season alone. And there is nothing at this point that says that they're going to miss that projection. They are, again, as I reported, they're up 200% over the last projection. So kudos to Sony and Nintendo for making good games that people want to buy. They're willing to buy, spend, full price on, support so you can get sequels and stuff like that.
And something that is software that coincides with the actual fucking hardware that you just spent fucking $600 on, $500 on.
It's actually using the power.
Fucking have that.
Yeah, it's actually using the power of the shit.
Yeah, because when you fucking play that game, I don't know how anybody can hate on that, or especially try to go in on the graphics, because once you see that fucking thing in person and it's actually booted up and you're playing that shit, I guarantee you it's gonna look like finally something that's actually this gen, finally.
Yeah.
Instead of just everything, the graphics, the movement, how fast the character moves, all that shit. So
yeah.
You got to have that fucking something that shows off that fucking system.
Yep.
Finally, I'm not saying finally, because there's been a few things that have shown it here and there, but I think this is like the first one that's really going to be showing what it can do, what it's capable of. I think
we'll see, man. I think the game is going to be amazing as usual. People are trying to pick it apart. At least the bots are. They're zooming in and blurring the pictures and stuff. So that's always a great telltale sign if a game is going to be great or not. If they don't do that, then the game probably is going to flop. If they go through, all the bells and whistles to try to discredit the game, then it's going to be a GOTY contender, or if not a GOTY winner. So
they're packing a lot of story in there, though. So that's why I don't expect it. Unless it's like they really hit it out of the park to get up in the 90s.
Yeah.
So that just happens when something has a lot going on, and everybody has their expectations. So this will be a mid to high 40 or 80s. game. Probably. Yeah. So I think everybody's correct in that. It's not going to.
I don't know.
But unless it really hits on that story,
Well, no, with them changing some of the stuff. Like they said, some of the side missions, like when you go to this area, it'll be controlled by a certain villain. So you're gonna have a bunch of different villains. Like that's gonna be the side missions. And then they also said Spider-Verse, because the spider bots are not spider bots anymore. Now it's Spider Bite, which was in Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
So they're bringing that in. They're setting that up for down the line.
Yeah. I can definitely see that. We're definitely going to have some end of credits things that's going on.
Yeah, with Green Goblin, probably.
Maybe Green Goblin. Yeah. Maybe.
You know what I mean? Think about it. They've been setting him up for a while.
Maybe a cameo for Wolverine. Maybe Logan passes them, or Hulk or somebody.
Did you see the image of Mysterio?
Yes,
he's not in a suit or anything.
Yes.
Did you see that?
Yep, saw that. So that goes back to the whole multiverse thing. I think they did confirm that Spider-Gwen is not in the game, but again, you got to look at it. If Mysterio is in the game, in
the Spider Bite, that's Spider-Verse too.
Yeah, and so we'll see. We'll see. I don't want any leaks or anything. I want to play the game and just have a great game.
I'm trying not to pay attention to any.
I just thoroughly enjoy a great fucking game. Just give me a great game. And if you do that, then we're good to go.
I mean, how can it not be? The last two were fucking good games. So.
Absolutely.
And Miles was better than the first one because his moveset is just that much better.
That's another thing, J-Dub. I've been saving Miles until I got a PS5 because I was like,
oh yeah,
I could play it right now. I almost bought a copy, but
especially Buck, if you have a 120 hertz TV, when you flip it, you're like, holy fuck, it's a big difference. So.
Absolutely. So that at least that's a good experience that you could have, Buck, is that knowing that whenever you go to PS5, your experience is going to be heightened through a bunch of other stuff, whether the haptic feedback, the additional, ray tracing and graphics is going to be overhauled. And so I'm gonna be honest, I would take that goddamn Xbox Series X. I would take that PS4 Pro, GameStop, get the credit. Go ahead and trade it in for a used PS5, and man, just enjoy. You're in next generation. You actually fucking can be a part of the conversation and enjoying. And because Microsoft, if you keep waiting on Microsoft, they're gonna keep letting you down. You've waited all last generation. You've waited fucking half of this generation, and now the motherfuckers are saying there's potential they can get out of gaming in 2027 if they don't get 100 million fucking Game Pass subscribers, which is looking highly like it. I don't know, brother. I just I don't know.
I tried to give him the, I tried to give it to the Starfield thing. And we've had this conversation back here a million times about that.
I mean, there was really no bigger game out of everything they showed us coming in the future. There's no bigger game than Starfield. Starfield was
exactly. Yeah. I'm not into like Forza.
Yeah.
So. And I've liked most of the PS. I'm not into Last of Us or anything, but I liked Ghost of Tsushima was great. Spider-Man was great. I loved the God of War series. I just figured I'd get to those eventually, but
well, it
fucking sucks.
There's
nothing going forward.
You don't want to miss out on because it's like fuck. You're always going to be behind.
Not looking forward to anything else. Like really, I mean, Val looks fucking shit.
Yeah,
Indiana Jones. I don't know. That's gonna turn out to be a wash. A lot of that shit. I don't really remember the whole list, but
I hate to say it.
Not the shit out
listen,
of it,
even games like Hellblade 2, even those games are gonna look like trash, because the Series S, right? So it's gonna be 30 frames a second. It's features that they're gonna have to water down and not have. So it's just I don't know.
You know what else? This kind of pissed me off. There's certain games that third-party games They just haven't been that great on Xbox, and I wish I got it on like Tony Hawk.
Yeah,
The fucking remake that came out recently.
Yep.
It's like I started playing it, and because I was always one of those people that used the D-pad, like in skating, especially on ramps and shit. And the fucking D-pad, that clicky one is cool on the Xbox, but not for Tony Hawk. So that's one. There was another game. I wanted to play the new Armored Core, but that would fucking, I don't know about that. I'd rather play that on the PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
Do you have a Series
the DualSense habit?
He has a Series X, I believe.
He has a Series X.
Yeah, then Buck, you're not getting any advantage from it because they're making the games for the S and just up-resing them a little bit.
Yeah. Even with that,
mostly
the performance
it's
is worse on the Series X than the PS5. So
mostly it's been the experience of just like controller things and stuff. Like it's great for shooters. That controller on the Xbox is really good shooter, but
I ain't gonna lie.
There's a lot of games where
you got the DualSense, the number one selling console in the accessory in the world is the DualSense Edge.
Yeah. There's been a lot of games
and
where I wish there
number
was the
8
D-pad.
is the VR 2.
Yeah,
that's
the
fucking
PSVR
crazy.
2 is the number 8 selling accessory in the world. That's fucking nuts. So all the naysayers, right? All the naysayers, all of the guys, this is trash. And guess what? Mark my words. That goddamn PlayStation Portal is going to sell out. It's going to be right up there with the highest selling accessory. It's going to be right there. Because anytime the naysayers say something negative about PlayStation or hate on it, the motherfucker always be number one. It is what it is. Look at all the shit that post up and all the bots said about the PS5. Oh, they're not ready. They're shipping it early, and it's a GCN RDNA 1.5, and it's underpowered, and the variable clocks and all of this shit. What happened? I shit smoking the Series S and X. So it's just, listen, I keep telling you guys, bet on blue, never bet on green. I'm not gonna lie, it kind of let a lot of air out of me when I saw a Microsoft themselves giving themselves to 2027, fiscal year 2027, which means 2026, to hit these benchmarks, or else they're fucking getting out of game.
They got like 3 years.
Pretty much. Well, this year is we're at the end of this year, right? This is like the 19th of September. We're going into October. So technically we got 2.5 months left. So I already call this year a wash. So technically, yeah, we got a couple of more years left. It's going to be 2024 in a couple of months. So you got to the end of 2026. That's 2 years. So
even with PC, there's no way they're going to hit that. Because how are you going to hit that? How is it possible?
Yeah.
Damn, I just realized I got secondhand hypnotized by Phil.
Oh man.
Through the bots.
Yep.
Oh man.
They tried to tell you. I told you, don't look at Phil in the eyes.
Yeah, I didn't. But these other bots were looking at him in the eyes, and then they sold me. Fuck. No. I mean, I'm exaggerating. It's a cool machine. It's been good for third-party stuff, but
yeah.
But these first-party games that were supposed to be these big, they just kind of one by one haven't been. Like Halo, I played for a while, but I didn't like it as much as Halo Reach. I thought Halo Reach was like, I was engaged the whole fucking time playing that. But the open world part of Halo, it was fun for a while. Halo Infinite.
Buck,
it got really repetitious very quick.
There's probably more people playing the Master Chief Collection,
Yeah, well, that's what I played. And Reach, you play that. I don't know. It just seems like it gives you more when it's a linear path in a Halo game. But that's just, I'm not I didn't play all of them, so maybe for people that played them all, Halo Infinite was good for some of them, but I wasn't engaged like I was in the Reach.
Okay, so hold on. We got new information. Shout out to Zubitech. It's extremely clear what Microsoft are doing. By a majority of third-party publishers and developers, they intend to buy the console market with Nintendo. spend billions of dollars to take away games from PlayStation, cancel any games in pre-production or in production for PlayStation 5, corner PlayStation by controlling the third-party games on the platform. They discuss internally and externally about purchasing every developer in the world. They've been lying about not taking games away from other platforms when they have, in fact, the head of Xbox Game Studios, Matt Booty, said our goal is to spin Sony out of business. Later on, he said he refers to the industry. They tend to not have pursued that, but they went ahead and spent $70 billion on Activision Blizzard King, as well as they ended up spending another $7 billion on ZeniMax for Bethesda and other things that's included in there. So far, Microsoft has already spent $100 billion, and they intend to consolidate the industry by buying Nintendo, and then they're going to consolidate gaming altogether with buying out Valve, which includes Steam. So that is, guys, I'm not going to lie. That kind of like, it is what it is.
Do you think Valve is going to let that happen, or Nintendo is going to let that happen now that this is out?
Well, here's the thing. We saw how, when Nintendo said no, how Phil was trying to skirt around it. He was getting partners that was with Nintendo, and he was basically paying them to buy out Nintendo stocks, to buy up a bunch of Nintendo stock. So once they bought the majority or a substantial amount, they would force Nintendo into a corner where they had no choice but to sell. So it wasn't going to be like Nintendo,
but Jacob,
like Microsoft.
How is this affected now, though? Like, now this is out. Like, now Nintendo can axe it.
Well, now that it's out in the open, now it may change. This is huge. I'm not going to lie, because this is internal. Now that this is out, I think even if they wanted to, the regulators wouldn't allow it. Now the government, the Japanese government, sees this, and now their red flags are up. I think the deals that they signed with Nintendo to put COD and other games on the Switch or the Switch 2 or whatever is going to be null and void. I think Nintendo is going to steer clear of Microsoft. Of course, Sony is going to steer clear, but I think even Gabe Newell is going to look at Phil in a certain light, and it's going to be like, nah, you lied to us, and this is what you're trying to do. This is not somebody telling you what they're trying to do. This is Microsoft telling you what they're trying to do based on their own communication internally. Now, I get it. Some people say, well, J-Dub, it wasn't meant to be read out loud externally. Yeah, true, but it is. The cat's out the bag now. Now what?
Yeah. Well, it doesn't mean that they'll totally steer clear of them. They'll just they'll have more leverage, or Microsoft has a lot less leverage, so they can still cut fucking deals, but they're going to be like, look, we know what fucking goes on, so you're going to have to pay more.
Well, if I'm going to be honest, if I'm Nintendo, I'm probably looking at all of my partners that I have now that are external, and I'm wondering, are you the guy that have been fucking buying up my stock? So now shareholders are looking at this. Everybody who's been buying fucking major stocks in Nintendo, are you the one that was colluding? Right? Because it is collusion.
Oh, they're doing They're definitely doing. They're definitely going to do investigations. For sure.
Yeah, that's what we call a hostile takeover. It's not
Well,
that you just.
What about Dickhead going to Blizzard before? You know what I mean?
Mikey Barra. Yeah, listen, all the floodgates are open, guys. It's open. When Mikey Barra stepped down from Microsoft and went over to Blizzard Activision, and then 2 years later, Microsoft bought them again. Guess what? He's back with Microsoft, technically, right?
Yeah.
That's shady shit. So now, and some people will say, hey, that's just corporate business. That's just business. Okay, fine. Yeah. Let's call it that. But it's one thing, it's out in the open, right? We knew some companies tried to do this, but this is just, you're shady. You've lied to the gamers. You've lied to the regulatory bodies, the FTC, the CMA, European Union. You've lied to them. And now you're going to expect them to see more of your cases? Nah. I think Microsoft's going to have a hard time. Mike,
Okay,
take it
there we
easy,
go.
brother. Take it easy. I appreciate you.
You see, Aaron. Aaron is here. He's a bot. See, he, like I said, are we being are we being over dramatic?
He said we're being dramatic.
It's just fear mongering.
Of course he's going to say that, right? Of course he's going to say that. He's just like most of them, right? They jump in front of field to take the bullet for him, and it's fine. That's their right, right? That's their right to do that. But my thing is, as an Xbox gamer, you haven't gotten return on investment, right? You keep going out here buying all these fucking consoles in hopes of getting these great games that never come. And now you're seeing what Microsoft is trying to do, that it's not even benefiting you as an Xbox gamer. Now they're telling you, hey, if we don't get Game Pass to 100 million subscribers by 2026, it's a wrap. Close up shop on this shit.
Do you think a bunch of bots are going to try to go make duplicate accounts now?
Oh yeah, they're gonna go. Listen, my brother Tim Dog, salute to him, man. I love him like a brother. You know he finna
got
go
9
out
accounts
and buy fucking 8 accounts. He's gonna have like $200 worth of Game Pass subscriptions a month.
Jesus.
You know, and I can see if you were like number 1 in gaming and you was killing it, but you fucking the ass last place. The best game you can come up with for the last 15 years is a fucking 83 Metacritic. According to the bots, it's the best game ever. So
we might have to hit up Z and say, hey, we could do a double night. We might have to end up doing another show tonight. Shit.
Yeah, my son has a football game, so I told him at earliest on the East Coast time I'll be back at about 8:30 or 9.
Yeah, I haven't heard. I don't know if he wanted to do one back to back, but if you guys didn't hear the last night's show, holy shit, that was one for the ages.
Oh yeah, no, without a doubt.
People were off the fucking rails, man. The whole chat was off the rails.
Hold it down for about 2 minutes, but
at the end of that show.
So what's your take on everything, man?
I think this is the end of the console. I think this is good. You know what I mean? Because this might end the ABK deal, and if that does, you know what I mean? Come on, we've been saying this for a long time. Like, and this is bad. This isn't good. This isn't good because now Microsoft is going to lose all the trust of the gamers and everybody because they see this. You know.
Well, they're not going to lose the trust with the established fans. I mean, that's not going to happen. But yeah, I mean, anybody on the fence, I'm curious to see what their stock is like, and if it affected anything at all. Because this is hitting mainstream media. This is going to be on like fucking. I was about to say Ted Koppel and show my age, but whoever hosts the goddamn nightly news.
Yeah,
NBC, CBS.
And everything.
Yeah, they're probably already been talking about it, but regular news, BBC, everybody.
Xbox is going all digital, man.
Yeah. That I don't know. It sounds.
They're going cloud.
Does the Activision deal?
That too.
Is the Activision Blizzard deal in play? Like, is it? Does this affect it or
it's
not?
In jeopardy. I would say, yeah, this is because he lied under oath about the Bethesda shit. They can bring that up.
Yeah.
See, my first instinct when I heard this, before I realized how much shit got leaked, and I thought this was a controlled leak and them just trying to prep people for the inevitable, which is the same outcome, which is eventually getting out of the hardware. But also because they thought that the deal was in jeopardy, and it's like, fuck it, let's just we're gonna go with this. Something could have happened internally that coincided with this, though. Like we haven't heard anything about this deal except I guess you said a couple days ago, posting them were reporting on shit.
Yeah.
Like it was like they won something in court. I didn't pay attention to it. So
I don't know. They I don't know.
I know there was something in the news about it.
Yeah.
I saw a couple sites mention. I just didn't read the article because I'm just kind of like over it at this point.
It's probably procedural shit because the deal isn't done.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I don't. Yeah, that's why I don't really pay attention to it. until I hear that the fucking deal is done and it's a done deal or it's not a done deal, I've kind of checked out on FTC shit. That was pretty much the end of it, though. Well, that interview with Phil was kind of like that was the line in the sand for me. Like,
Well,
okay, yeah, we know what it's about now. From now on, after that, I mean, he pretty much came clean in so many words, you know.
Yeah.
In my opinion, as far as what it's like, we know for sure. You can't really spin it.
Man,
In my opinion.
This is just such a fucking bad look, man.
It's kind of a bummer.
Epic.
I could tell it's kind of to you. It's kind of a bummer because you don't want to.
It is.
I mean,
It's
at this point, you do want to see them get out at this point, though, and I understand that concept.
I'll
it's
say
like
this.
you're just doing more damage at this point if your heart's not into actual gaming. Yeah. It's just all you can't just. Yeah, it is a business, but you still have to have, because it's an entertainment business. There still your heart has to be in it. You can't make good entertainment like that without passion. You know, you can still make money doing it. It's just you still have to have that passion though to make a good product. As far as gaming, it is what it is.
Man,
it has to be passion all the way to the top too. You can't just have a bunch of artists working for fucking bean counters. You know.
Yeah, J-Dub, this shit is unprecedented.
well, and because people were like, well, why Sony information didn't leak? Sony information, like, well, listen, it really wasn't their case. Taryn, what's good, my brother? It wasn't. You got to realize.
What the hell would Sony information be in there? It's about them buying ABK.
Yeah, that has to do with that.
Well, because in the world of the Chrome side and shit, it became about fucking Sony versus Microsoft because that's what was being pushed as if it was a fucking battle. Lena Khan is Sony and fucking.
Yeah.
You know, it was crazy, but it's nothing to do with that really at all.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, they did their little campaign and going on the record and in interviews, but aside from that, and
I don't know, man. Anyway, we may have a show tonight. We may wait for tomorrow till I can get in. I don't know. We'll see.
I wanted to jump on Starfield.
It may be a late. Yeah, it may be a late show. Anyway, man, thank you guys for rocking out with me. It's been a great show. All this breaking news, this shit is crazy, man. Never thought I'd see it. But listen, the true face of Phil, he is not a nice guy. He is not that handsome and charming guy that Pastor Joe keep telling y'all. He is, the devil's in sheep's clothing, the wolf in sheep's clothing, and their goal is to spin Sony out of gaming, to buy up Nintendo, to buy up Valve, and to just force all gaming to come through them. And these guys, them, right? For the last 24 years of failing. They've been the last place at everything. They really hadn't nurtured anything. They really hadn't created anything. So that's just what you're going to get. These guys are going to be running all the gaming. I hope Nintendo could withstand the onslaught from the big behemoth. I hope the regulators are looking at this and act accordingly. These are the guys that the regulators warn you about. They lie in court and in public, and then behind the scenes, they're going for, like Peaky in the Brain, world domination. So anyway, man, y'all take it easy. Getting out of here. Buck, I appreciate you. Heath, I appreciate you. Manhattan came by. Levon, all you guys. I will see you guys on Twitter, and I'll see